What's up, people? Happy Wednesday, A2HH Live, Mike D and Coop. How are you doing on this Wednesday, Coop?
I'm a little somber about some things, but it's gonna be okay.
Everything all right?
Just missing some people right now.
Yeah,
That's all.
it's all good, man.
Someone in particular, but
Well, hopefully we can, get in this live today and really get the people going. I mean, it hasn't been a whole lot of new music to talk about. I think we can kind of piggyback on some of the music that we might have missed out on Friday's show because Friday's show, man, we really got into it, bro. We really was talking about a whole bunch of stuff that wasn't even on the radar, but it was fun.
it was one of those reasons to click like and subscribe to our page.
Yeah, definitely, because working on a couple of things, man. And of course, with the Patreon audience, we're gonna get you your show for this week as well. I don't want to say too much as far as like some of the things that we're working on. Oh, Dad, Coop got out of there. I want to see, was that on my end or was that? Yes, we do Patreon. Dumb it down. I just had to run out of town, man, and we're trying to get our schedule and everything together for that. And I know last Monday, we did a special show because Coop was coming back from the Nas concert. But yeah, we're gonna catch everybody up on the Patreon, and we got some stuff lined up. Let me hit Coop right back just to make sure that he's in the room. I don't know why he went out. They said Friday show was lit. Okay, now Coop's calling me. Okay. All right, cool. You good? What happened?
I'm not sure.
Okay, I was just hoping it wasn't on.
I did my cut creator impersonation with the mouse right quick, and everything just went haywire. I just did a little, and I don't know what happened.
Yeah. I'm in a new undisclosed location. Yes, I am. And I was just making sure that wasn't, my side of things because I don't know what this Wi-Fi is like. This ain't like the Wi-Fi at the crib. We do need to talk about that Talib and Madlib album. I haven't gotten a chance to check it out. Maybe we could talk about that Friday. We could definitely talk about that Friday. Bro, do you want to jump right into it? It's on Luminary too, so I mean that's probably why I haven't gotten a chance to get into it. But
it's on Luminary?
Yeah, it's on Luminary.
Well, it's very problematic already.
It's I want to ask the people who have heard it. First of all, have y'all heard it? The people who are talking about this album, and for the people, and for the people that have heard it on Luminary, is it good? Because Luminary overcharged me for a couple months. I ain't gonna trip about it or anything, but it's I'm kind of hesitant to jump back in the Luminary system to listen to one album and get charged like 10 months for $4.99. I would love to buy the physical though. People are saying I agree with everything that Melly Mel said. All right, I guess we're gonna jump into it. All right, so
it looks like we're jumping in.
I guess we're jumping in
to the deep side of the pool, everybody.
Well, this is where I want to go with it, and obviously for the people who have living under a rock for the past week or so. Oh, let me get the Mad Max super chat real quick. Shout out to Mad Max getting the super chats in. He says, "Coop, I need an apology for your Conway Fab take. I was I was bumping Fab's projects again, and you either bumped your head or you lost your mind. Funeral Fab. Before we get into the Melly Mel thing, I want to make sure everybody gets in the room. Thumbs up in the chat and all of that. I've been getting all kind of texts about our takes on the Conway and Fab thing. Would you like to clarify? Do you feel like Fab is just not elite in that way, or why do you feel like Conway is above? Why do you feel like you would rate Conway over Fab?
Show me the record, or show me the album that makes you feel like Fabulous is superior, seeing how he's been along succinctly longer.
Mad Max with the super chat says Hove, Big, Kane, AZ, and Fab are top 5 Brooklyn artists ever.
No, Fab is not top 5 Brooklyn. He's not better than AZ. He's not better than Yasin. He's not better than the Jizza. Stop that.
Man.
And you already know you got your big 3. You got Kane, Big, and Jay. So,
are we counting Busta Rhymes for Brooklyn?
If we count Busta Rhymes for Brooklyn, you know what I mean? He's gonna be on the back end of the top 10.
I'm sorry, man. Like, y'all might laugh or whatever, but I think overall, I'm ranking Lil' Kim higher than Fab. And I don't mean that in any kind of, insulting way. I mean,
Lil' Kim is a better MC in every way. She's had better albums. She's had better singles. She's had better scene-stealing verses. She's had more important scene-stealing verses. She's been more of a setter. She's been more of an icon. It's not even a fucking question. That's what I'm saying. What are we talking about?
I would have to agree with you. I think the thing that makes this Conway...
Where Fab No Time at or hardcore at?
I think the thing that makes this Conway thing kind of interesting for people, and I was having a conversation with Ron Vay, it's about the versatility thing. And I think we addressed this on last show where the era that Fab came up in, he had to be able to make the record for the girls, make records for the street, make records for the radio. And in my personal opinion, listening from a king to a god, I think that Conway is fully capable to do all of those things that MCs had to do from, let's just say, 99 to 2005 or whatever, when radio was still in play. I understand the freestyles and the punchlines and all those things that Fab, was able to excel in and be next level on. But for me, I've always felt like Fab just never really had that definitive project like, Conway has, from a king to a god. And I think, again, we talked about this last year. I think the record with Jill Scott in a different era, that's a big record. You know what I'm saying? Like in the 106 and Park era, that's a big record. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a record you see on the countdown all the time. I think the Murder Beats track that he had, in a different era, that's a big record. So
that should be banging in the club.
I don't subscribe to the notion that Conway is one-dimensional. I think that they're pegging some of the notions of that crew at large, or whatever people feel about that crew at large, to him. I think he's shown diversity. Getting on records with Ludacris and JID and flipping his flow in that way. The KD record that he put out last year, like, he's shown all kind of versatility. I think that you guys are saying that we aren't familiar with Fab's catalog. I don't think y'all are familiar with Conway's catalog.
Right.
And I think that's what we're experiencing here.
Hold on. He can even do West Coast Gangster, Shoot Sideways with Schoolboy Q on Lulu.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? He's rhymed on Juicy J's album. You know what I'm saying? Like, he does things like that. He's rhymed with pretty much everybody. Just got off a record with Busta and Kane we were just talking about.
Not a problem.
I truly believe...
Lemon.
Do you think if both of them... And I want to ask the people, too, since we always do this when it comes to 3000 and Eminem or whatever. Do you think if both of them got on a record together, who you think's coming out with the best verse?
Listen here. When has anybody the caliber of Method Man jumped on a verse with Fab for his first single, and Fab stood toe-to-toe with somebody like that on his first single?
Well, outside of Jadakiss, who are the best MCs that Fab ever had to trade bars with?
Definitely Kiss on the Soul Food album.
No, I ain't talking. Now, let's take Kiss out of it, because when you're in a group with somebody, it's a little different. You're trying to mesh. But I'm just talking about outside of the group dynamic. Who are the best MCs that Fab has had to trade bars with?
He's on You Ain't Got Nothing on Me on the Carter 3 with Jewels and Wayne.
That's the highest?
I mean, I think that's pretty high. He's with Kiss and Jeezy on OJ.
Jeezy ain't got no bars.
Don't say it like that. That's disrespectful.
He don't, man. I mean, cool. You know what I'm saying? He got some cool songs, some dope beats, and some
No, I
hooks.
get what you're saying.
Yeah,
He's not your quote unquote. Like you're not going to Jeezy for the lyrical,
yeah.
metaphorical, allegorical display.
I don't expect Jeezy to out rap Fab.
I don't either.
Yeah.
So that's totally understandable when you say it that way.
Like,
No. I hear you. I'm just trying to think in my mind. Red Cafe, nice.
he's nice.
Yeah, Red's
But I
nice.
mean, is Red Cafe Method Man? Benny the
No.
Butcher.
None of these guys I mentioned
Buster.
are Method Man, by the
Yeah.
way. None of these guys I mentioned, I think, are Method Man.
36 Chambers with a super chat says, finally got around to the new Wayne single and Nicki project, and I liked them. Still a slow start to the first of the year of music overall, though. I did like the Wayne single. I liked it.
Hey.
And you know, oddly enough, I'm not a huge Swiss fan. I think I've expressed that on this show before. But I love when Wayne and Swiss get together. They knock it out the park. It's weird. It's really weird. Wayne and Swiss knock it out the park a lot.
I don't understand you sometimes.
I'm not a huge Swiss fan. I mean, I think it's some of the sounds that Swiss uses. I think it's some of the drums.
I think he's a classic like home run hitter.
Yeah.
It's like most home run hitters strike out a lot. But when they hit, oh man, they hit.
I don't
like
think
when he hits.
Listen, I just don't think that Swiss is a person that would be a go-to, for me. But I will say this, when he hooks up, Swiss brings energy to the room. And I think for certain artists, he brings that energy out in them. But track for track, I probably wouldn't go to him. You know what I mean? And I think that's why he works so well with Wayne, because he's able to bring that energy out in Wayne that, he brings the best out of him. He doesn't just give him a beat. Now, I will give that to Swiss. I think he actually works with the artist. You remember when, I think he was on Shade 45 or they were on Sway or something, and he was there with Cassidy, and, you know what I'm saying, playing one of his beats, and Cassidy was just rhyming, he was hyping him up and stuff. Like, I think Swiss is great for that. But I just think on a technical level, I'm just not a huge fan stylistically with what he does and the sounds he uses. Like, I never was a big fan of Rockwilder's production either. Coop, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. I mean, did you like Rockwilder's production or yeah?
Not more than Swiss, if I had to be honest.
Yeah. So,
in a vacuum and like overall.
Where would you place Swiss then? I mean, all time producers. Hip hop producers, I mean.
Dr. Dre, DJ Quick, DJ Paul, Premier, Pete Rock, Kanye, Havoc, Hit Boy, Large Professor, Metro. I mean, you get what I'm saying? Marley Marl, Organized Noise. I would personally take Derek D. Dot and Nasheem Myrick out of Bad Boys Hitmen. You know what I'm saying? Easy Mo B. Yeah. It's a lot of cats. Like, you know what I mean? Like a lot. Q-Tip.
Yeah.
Dilla.
Yeah. I got Timbaland and Neptunes ahead of him too.
Going.
Yeah, I got Timbaland and
Neptunes. But I would have put him. I would put him ahead of maybe like Just Blaze, No ID.
I don't know if I could put him ahead of Just Blaze.
I would put Eric Sermon ahead of Swiss too.
Yeah. I don't think I could put him ahead of Just Blaze.
I can.
I don't know.
He made DMX's second best album, and he did make one of DMX's 5 biggest songs. And to be honest with you, when you hear DMX in the club, there's like a 50% chance it's a record that Swiss did, because it's usually Rough Riders Anthem or Party Up.
Would you like to Patreon that?
What do you mean?
Would you like to take Swiss and I'll take Just?
Didn't you already take this L with Just?
I took an L with Just in terms of
Havoc. Take Just shit again?
I'll do Just again. I'll do a replay. But I was
Money
going against
Cash
Havoc.
was pretty big, Mike, even though Casio flows, still the record is what it is. Pistol on My Side with Wayne, Echo with Nas.
Echo's awesome. Pistol on
was a
My
rap
Side
song of
is
the year, in
awesome.
my opinion, that year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
LP with the super chat says, notice none of these cats are talking crazy about Nas. Of course not. Because you know what? At the end of the day, what Nas is doing is real. And you know what else is interesting? We'll get to that. We'll get to that. Let me get to the rest of these super chats. Mad Max with the super chat says, Most Def had one album. He ain't Fab. Sorry. I got Most Def over Fab, man.
Hey, real talk. This is what I'm talking about. This is how I feel about Fab. I know Fab catalog run deeper and run harder, and I know we give Yasin some flack on here about some things, but there's not a real head out here that thinks that Fab can out-rhyme that nigga Yasin Bey. No. Don't nobody outside think that.
I want to put this in context, man, because again,
Yasin in form would obliterate. It would be distance in that 100-yard dash. She'd be like, that man beat this nigga by 2 seconds.
I like Fab a lot, right?
That.
I like Fab. That. I'm familiar with Fab's career. I've been listening to Fab's verses here and there since like 1999, right? Since the Professional or slightly before. But this is what I'm going to say. And I say this in no disrespectful terms. I just have never viewed Fab as elite MCing talent. When you hear Mos Def or Yasin Bey for the first time I heard him was on B-Boy Document. I was like, okay, this dude's different. Then I heard Miss Fat Booty. I'm like, oh yeah, this guy has elite talent. Special. I heard him on Respiration. This guy has elite talent. Yeah. I've never heard Fab and felt like this is an elite MC. And I feel like, and you know, correct me if I'm wrong out there, if Fab did have those elite abilities, he would have been able to take Jay-Z's spot in New York at that time when Jay-Z stepped aside. That, you know what I mean? Like that was a natural progression. What's that?
But it ended up in 50 hands and Cameron's hands and Dipset hands.
Because 50 is an elite talent. Maybe not elite MCing, quote unquote. But when it comes to song making
you want to know what though, Mike? If we talking about, this is what I'm saying. So if you want to actually talk about like MCing though, 50's a better MC than Fab.
I agree.
The only thing that Fab does better than 50 is the punchlines. And 50's still funny as hell and witty as hell with some of his punchlines. He's just not as lyrically, metaphorically sharp as Fab is, I would say.
You know, Fab doesn't even have a 21 questions, and that's his lane. You know what I'm saying? This 50 guy can give you a 21 questions and a mini man. You know what I mean? Like,
you know, it's funny.
Fab ain't got many men in him.
So, Mike, check this out. I actually have, I do some coin collecting and some foreign currency collecting. And I have a 50-cent piece. And I dropped it today, Mike. I dropped it on my wooden table. It actually sounded like the intro to Get Rich or Die Trying. And I said to myself, oh no, these niggas really kept it authentic. They really dropped a 50-cent piece down because it's different, because it's heavier, because of the time that it was built. It sounds different when it hits the table.
You can hear the sonics. You know, we were just watching BMF actually earlier today. I was with some folks. I'm catching up on the BMF series. And even that intro that 50 has for that series, it's fire. Like 50 can make records. And I don't think 50 ever, quote unquote, fell off. I think people just kind of got tired of 50 and wanted to move on. I think that one of the things that Kanye did do to 50, Kanye kept evolving and kept changing the sounds, where 50 kept that traditional hard street, you know what I'm saying, repertoire.
I would disagree with you. What I would say is that what you have is usually most peak all-time great performers usually have about a 5-year run that you can look at and be like, bang. And I think with him, because his contributions went so much to the entirety of his camp in a successful way, like when you look at what he contributed to the documentary, to Lloyd Banks's album, to Young Buck Straight Outta Cashville, to the actual G Unit project, Beg for Mercy. You know what I mean? Like, and then you look at his like follow up projects, the second and third projects, Curtis and the Massacre, right, respectively. Second the Massacre, then Curtis. That's a lot of work that he did from like 2003 to like 2007.
Yeah.
And so I do think that the quality dropped off, but it's like one of those things. It's like, well, when a guy averages 35.
I think Coop froze for a second. Again, it's probably my end. We'll see. Bear with us real quick.
I can't see you right now.
Okay, cool. Coop, you back. I think that was kind of, signal going on. Matt Max to the super chat says, Joe Budden, Wayne, Jewels, Cam, Fab rapped with everyone. Is that everyone, Mad Max? That's that everyone? 36 Chambers with the super chat says, what does Fab have that touches black on both sides? I was going to ask some questions like that too, because, I think I just saw Melvin Wright with a super chat I want to address. Dane with the super chat says, I DM Coop about a podcaster, hip hop hero, who has a lot of interesting takes on Nas that will probably make your head explode. Just wondering if you listen to it. I mean, it's probably some trolling shit, to be honest. Just You Run with the super chat says, Fab is better than Conway. Fab's not better than Jada, Method Man, or Luda, but he's better than Conway. He would lose in a versus against Fab. So y'all think Ludacris is better than Conway too, huh?
See, this is what I'm saying. Mike, I do truly think this is a matter of acquaintance. Like, as in not acquainted with the other artist as well as maybe you think that you are.
I think so too. I mean, and that's what I'm gonna kind of chuck it off to, because Melvin Wright says y'all got to stop with the madness about Fab. What madness? Okay, let's rewind here. Let's go to the MCs that are in Fab's era.
What madness are you talking about? Like, how about this? No, Mike, hold on 1 second. What has Fab done that Jadakiss hasn't done in spades?
I was gonna go to his era, right? Because I feel like
it's his era.
Yeah, I know. But Jada's a little bit more of an OG of his, right? What I was gonna say,
that's 90, Mike. That's like 97 versus like 98, 99. Like, no, it ain't that.
I feel you. Jada was on some big records. I was gonna pull out T.I. and Wayne, right? Does Fab have an urban legend? Does Fab have a trap music? Does Fab have a paper trail even? Does Fab have a King?
No.
Are we tripping?
No. T.I.'s 4 best albums are better than Fab's best album.
Does Fab have a Carter 2?
Does he have a What You Know? Let's stay on T.I. Where's his What You Know?
Does he have the features that, some of these people have that we're talking about?
Where's his Blurred Lines or his My Love?
Are we tripping? Like, I don't know.
No. That's what I'm saying is it's like...
Because I want to know what people are basing this on. Kind of like what Melly Mel said. What are the criteria here? Are we just talking about Fab as a punchline MC? Are we talking about...
You want to know what, Mike?
Because it can't be the albums, right? Are we talking about the singles? Because the singles are... You know what? Since we want to go there, we want to talk about versatility, and we want to talk about singles. What is Fab's biggest record? Is it Breathe?
I think it's You Make Me Better with Neo.
Oh my God!
You said biggest record. Did you know? You said biggest record, didn't you?
I did say that. Does anybody remember what he played last on his verses?
I don't know, Mike. He played some losing efforts against Jadakiss, though, and we fault Jadakiss for not having enough classic album or classic singles.
And Jada was able to double back and do a whole nother verses.
Because Jada's a beast for real out here, and that's what I'm saying. Is it's like, look at what happened to him against Kiss and how we get on Kiss for not having enough quote unquote big solo records and classic solo projects. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Did you hear what happened?
Ab Studio, the super chat says, you guys hear Bink's interview on Math Hoffa complaining about Just Blaze jacking his style. He's right. I get it. You Don't Know sounds just like 1-900 Hustler.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I didn't see the interview. I'm going to check it out. But I remember when Kanye said that on Drink Champs, and it was interesting to me that Jay-Z doesn't really address anything. But Jay-Z went out there and addressed and defended Just Blaze and said that was the quote-unquote theme of the album. It's hard to think that that was the theme of the album if they included, Jigga That Nigga Jigga and, Ola Ovito and Renegade on there. But it seems that Just Blaze was being empowered by somebody in there to copy these guys. You know what I'm saying?
That's not a big deal. That's not a big deal. That's Camp Holden Ford. That's Camp Holden Ford.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm just saying, I don't think everybody should come down on Just for it. It seems like it was a collective effort. We need you to make beats like this.
See, here's what I want to do, Mike. We're at 34 on our hip hop list, and everybody talking this fab shit. But I'm gonna tell you who we got lined up. We got Rick Ross, Game, T.I. Styles, and Lupe. Those were supposed to be the next 5. Guru, Doom, Azine, Beans, and Tretch were supposed to come after that. But I want to slide Fab right in the middle of that so we can get to him today. Because when we get to 40, because that's what I'm saying is that Fab's not a top 50 MC.
Oh, my goodness. Deontay Smith with the super chat says, you guys are talking
about...
Huh?
You think Fab better than AZ? Where's his Sugar Hill? Where's his Do or Die? Where's his Life's a Bitch verse? You want to talk about trading bars with legendary MCs? How's AZ?
You think AZ is better than Fab, huh?
I don't think so. I know so. Where is Fab better? He's definitely not a better lyricist or wordsmith. He doesn't have a better delivery. He doesn't have a better voice.
Let me get to these super chats.
Platinum single. Sugar Hill went platinum in 1995.
He's in the firm too.
Single.
He's in the firm too.
He's on phone tap.
Let me get to these super chats real quick. Deontay Smith with the super chat says, you guys talked the other day about producers carrying an album. Can we be real and say that that was the case for Get Rich or Die Trying? I don't think producers carried that, because I think you and I have done a breakdown of Get Rich or Die Trying, and we talk about the hook work that 50 Cent displayed on that album. Do you realize, Deontay Smith, that 50 did all of the hooks on that album? He didn't just sit there and let a sample do it or bring in, the producer to do it, and he was able to make hit singles pretty much in a vacuum on his own. Like, any of those features that were on Get Rich or Die Trying, rap-wise, he could have eliminated, really. He didn't need any of those features to carry any of those songs. So no, I don't think it's just the producer thing. And honestly, I think the beats were awesome, but I think he enhanced those beats. You could have given those same beats to anybody in that crew, and it wouldn't have been the same record. Brian with the super chat.
My style.
Right.
You like how I break it down.
You would bring up the Rockweiler produced record.
I'll show you how.
Brian with the super chat says,
might be his best beat.
You think so? Nah.
It's up there.
I think the best beat
on
that album.
Like My Style is my new anthem, Mike, but that was always my shit. I used to love the record.
I like that record a lot. It
feels good. That feels like 50 to me.
If I Can't Do It, I think is one of the ones that really feels like 50 to me. I think that one.
I agree.
What Up Gangsta and High All the Time are some of the best beats on there.
What Up Gangsta?
What Up Gangsta is insane. Insane. I think that's the best beat on there, in my personal opinion. Brian with the super chat says, first super chat, love the show. Thanks for always keeping it real. I think Fab's definitive work is his mixtapes. If those Soul Tape mixtapes were albums, Fab's catalog would be given higher praise. I agree with that, Brian.
When these we talking about mixtapes when all these dudes got mixtapes and classic albums? Is that what we doing?
I agree with what Brian's saying, though. I agree with what Brian's saying,
but with what Brian is saying, Mike, means that he's not top 50 then.
This is what
if you have to go to somebody's mixtapes, oh no, we ain't playing that shit.
But that's the thing.
That's like me arguing with Pusha T up here. But Mike, the Re-Up Gang mixtapes, it's like, nah, nigga, I'm up here like Daytona. Yeah. Hell Hath No Fury.
You're right.
Grinding.
You're right.
Runaway with Kanye.
You're right.
Stop
I mean,
playing with
honestly,
me.
man, we could say the
Talking
same
about some
thing.
mixtape.
We could say the same thing for 50 Cent. We talk about those 10 for 10 mixtapes and stuff like that. Like
I don't talk about 50 like that.
Elephant in the Sand. You know what I mean? Like he got crazy mixtape stuff, but it's like my thing is, and I like
But
the
he
soul
may get
tapes.
rich or die trying.
Yeah, and I love the soul tapes, but I feel like Fab being who he is or where he was at that point in the game, like you guys said, platinum selling artists, very successful. Why didn't those soul tapes ring bells like they could have? You know what I mean? Like if it were somebody like, let's just say somebody who had made classic efforts. I hate to keep bringing Jay's name into it, but if Jay would have made those soul tapes, we would know them. You know what I mean? The mass public would recognize them. So y'all telling us that the soul tapes were underrated? Why? Maybe because Fab's just not what might just not be elite. I'm sorry. I hate you have coming from the era that he came from, you kind of have to approve your eliteness through album form. Mixtapes is kind of a safe way out to a degree. Eric Terrell with the super chat says, Fab doesn't have quotable verses. It sounds good. Yeah. Where are Fab's quotables? Mad Max with the super chat says, Fab's the GOAT mixtape rapper ever, and he smoked Wayne. Now, see, there it is. To say that Fab's the GOAT mixtape rapper, you're just a Fab fan. That's not an objective statement. That's not an objective statement at all. Just You Run with the super chat says, Conway ain't better than Ransom. How is he better than Fab? Fab in his prime has hits, the Soul Tape series, the Young OG project. Fab has a song with Jay-Z too. Talking about when the money goes.
See how people talking about? Hold on, people talking about. See how people keep bringing up Soul Tapes, a song with Jay-Z. Fab has hits. List them out right quick.
Exactly. I was gonna say list some songs from the Soul Tapes.
No, list the hits, Mike. Like how many hits was it actually? You get what I'm saying?
I think that's fair. Melvin Wright with the super chat says, Fab had collaborated with Pusha T, Ross, T.I., Wayne, Jay-Z, Jada, Wayne, again, trying to inflate it by putting Wayne twice. So we got two Waynes going on, Lloyd Banks. And he also has hits whether it's your cup of tea or not. Like you said, Coop. Let's list the hits. Let's break down these incredible hits.
What? No. I'm going to go look it up so people don't jump all over the place. We're about to pull up Fabulous catalog.
Let's do it. Quick. I love it. Let's do it on a Wednesday. Roy Wana with the super chat says, Coop shouldn't be talking crazy like this. Open the phone lines. We got the phone lines coming. That's happening. I can't wait to open up the phone lines with you guys if y'all want to sit here and talk all this Fab guy hits. Jay Short with the super chat says, mixtape Fab is different than radio. He's in my personal top 15 because he's one of the best multi-syllable and metaphor rappers ever, and he's most underachieved on albums. Okay, let's play with that notion for a second.
No. Hold on.
No. If you underachieve on albums, how are we supposed to rank you?
What are we talking about?
You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the whole conversation with this Djokovic guy, right? He's about to win his third MVP.
No. Djokovic is the tennis player. You're talking about Jokic.
I'm sorry, Jokic. I'm sorry. I'm American. I pronounced the J. I apologize. But Jokic, right? So he's about to win his third MVP. No one's scared of him in the playoffs.
It's not in the bag, Mike. Embiid is making a strong case right now.
They're going to give it to him. They're going to give it to him. But even if they don't, right?
Better go to the finals.
He's won two. He's won two in a row, but no one fears him in the playoffs. Now, when we talk about all of the all-time great NBA players, no one's going to mention him. And I was talking to my boy Ron the other day, man. I got love for Dirk, but nobody was ever scared of Dirk. Even as great of a talent that Dirk Nowitzki was, he wasn't that player that somebody like a Tim Duncan was. Even, and I want to say this because of a less flashier player. People feared Tim Duncan and what Tim Duncan could do to you in game moments. I think
I think
Jokic is that, and to bring this back to our conversation, if we know this person consistently underachieves when it's album time, then how are we even putting you up here with the people who have achieved during album time?
okay, people have to understand something. Let's look at it like this, Mike. When you go on hip hop radio and you do freestyles or verses, or when you throw out little clips on YouTube, that's practice. That's rehearsal time.
Yeah.
A mixtape ain't nothing but a regular season game, Mike. We got 82 of those.
Exactly.
Your album is the motherfucking playoffs.
Yeah, that's the championship.
This is how you get into the championship round.
Yeah.
Now, how your album sounds determines whether you go home in the first round or whether you go all the way to the finals and get you a championship ring.
Are you an eighth seed or are you a first seed?
Stop treating these soul tapes like they're playoff round games when they're just one of 82. Now, you know, Mike, we live in Atlanta. You know how many stories I can tell you about how niggas behave in it? Like, niggas set up, they're professional athletes set up time in Atlanta has the game that they gonna fuck up or fuck off. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just one of 82. They like, oh, we in the A. Like, oh, we might have to take this L tonight because we ain't getting no sleep because we're going to go. Because they know it's one of 82, Mike. When it's the playoffs, they be in the hotel room in Atlanta.
Well,
you understand what
let
I'm
me
saying?
bring this up.
It's different.
Because we just got finished talking about 50 Cent's Get Rich or Die Trying, right? That's game time shit. The buzz was big and he delivered.
That's a championship
That's
ring,
a
Mike.
championship. If he would have went out there and quote unquote underachieved for that project, you know how much of a loss that would have been? So he kept, regardless if people like 50 or not, you got to respect the fact when all the lights were on and all the hype was there and the machine was on, that man performed at a legendary level.
As much as I talk about how much I don't care for The Massacre or Curtis, those two albums are better than any project Fab has released. What we talking about?
Roy Warner with the super chat says, Get Rich or Die Trying wasn't the best work in 03. Overrated. I think that's an opinion, but what I will say.
What's that, B? Would it be B 03?
No, B was 05.
What's 03?
I don't know what he thinks is better than Get Rich or Die Trying to 03. Maybe the Black Album. I will say this.
How about this?
It had the year on lock. And that's just, you can't refute that.
Hold on. I'm about to give you some context. Well, in 1996, Mike, this guy named Tupac released All Eyes on Me.
Mm-hmm.
And it may not have been the best album overall to some people, but it was clearly one of the 3 or 4 or 5 best. And he the person that really owned the year. Got it?
This is what I will say too. To that overrated notion, right? Shit. To that overrated notion, and we're about to get to who I think is possibly the most overrated artist of all time. To say that Get Rich or Die Trying is overrated, I can actually bring up records to refute that notion and the way that those records perform. I'll start with In the Club. I'll start with 21 Questions. I also go with Many Men on a street level. I also go with What Up Gangsta on a street level. You had PIMP was a successful record. You had If I Can't Do This, It Can't Be Done was a successful record. Like, how could you even say that those are overrated records? Those are dope records.
Listen to what I'm about to say, Mike. 50 has diamond certifications coming in this year for singles off of Get Rich or Die Trying. Not the album. He has diamond certifications coming in this year for singles off of Get Rich or Die Trying. Fab, what you get what I'm saying?
Y'all think What Up Gangsta's whack? Now, I mean, are there people out there that think What Up Gangsta's not a dope record?
Hold on. No, because here's what we need to do now, Mike. Hold on 1 second. Can't Deny It with Nate Dogg.
Yeah.
Holla Back, Youngin.
I like that record a lot.
Me too.
With the Vanilla Ice
Flow.
Yeah.
Trade It All with Jagged Edge.
I wasn't a big fan of Trade at all.
Well, it's not that good. Can't Let You Go.
Wasn't a big fan of Can't Let You Go.
What about Into You with Tamia? Did you like that?
I didn't like it because I loved the Tamia record, and at the time, I felt it was too soon because the Tamia record came out in '98. What was that? '02? And I'm like, they're sampling this already? Now that could have just me being a tough ass or whatever, but I didn't like it because I liked the original so much. So I'm a little jaded on that. Yeah.
This Is My Party.
Didn't like that record at all. I remember that.
Trade It All Part 2.
Nah.
Where are these hits at that people talking about? Hold on. Let's go.
Keep going.
Breathe.
Fire. His best record to me.
Breathe is his best record to me, correct.
Yeah.
Baby.
I love Baby, actually. I like that record.
I like it. I don't love it. I like it. I don't love it.
It had the Michael Jackson sample. I loved the video or whatever. They was out
Michael
there.
Jackson samples, Mike. It's got Mike. It's got Mike. So you were like sold. That's all that is. Tit for tat. Tit for tat.
I actually like Tit for Tat, but I'll say this.
That's Neptune.
It's a Neptune
you also
track.
Like the Neptunes.
I was gonna say
Michael Jackson. What a shock! Like,
it's a Neptune track, but I will say this. I think it's kind of a B-side Neptune track. I like it, but if you ask me if I like that or Philly's Most Wanted,
Neptune's verses. That's for damn sure.
No,
the Neptunes ain't playing that shit.
I like Philly's Most Wanted. Please Don't Mind more than I like that record. But that's just my opinion. I like Tit for Tat, but go ahead, keep going. But that's not a hit. Let's be clear. Tit for Tat's not a hit.
You're bugging either way you want to call it, Mike. But that's cool. Let's see.
I'm just being honest with the records I like and didn't like. You know what I'm saying? But even with these records I'm saying I'm liking, these aren't elite hip hop records at all.
Diamonds.
Featuring
Jeezy. See, you don't even remember that.
I don't remember that one.
Do the Damn Thing.
I remember that. I thought Jeezy's verse was hilarious.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, the Jeezy Commando on the Remy Martin. Nigga, matter of fact, I ain't Fat Joe, but I can make you lean back. See if your ammo, don't waste it. Got him dodging bullets like he in the Matrix. All right, go ahead. I just want to let people know I know the records.
I like that. Return of the Hustle.
I don't remember that record.
Because it featured Swiss. That's why you were so selective. You were showing your bias.
I don't remember that record.
I know, because it's a Swiss record. So you're probably like, oh, Swiss did it. You ain't listened to it.
Right, I probably just skipped right through.
Right. So this is what this says. His third single, Make Me Better, which features fellow Def Jam artist Neo and is produced by Timberland, was his biggest hit to date, spending 14 weeks at #1 on the Hot Rap Track Billboard track. So
You Make Me Better is his biggest record?
So Make Me Better is his biggest song, Mike. What is that telling you? Like, Make Me Better may not even make Get Rich or Die Trying.
I agree with you.
What are we doing here?
Leroy Green with the super chat
you
says...
You gonna soul tape me? Soul tape?
Leroy Green says, the counter argument...
We talking about practice? We talking about soul tapes? Let me get the... Mike, we supposed to be fighting about Illmatic and Paid in Full and Only Built for Cuban Links and Aquemini, and you niggas is pulling up with some soul tapes. You don't get the fuck out of here with that.
Leroy Green with the super chat says, the counter argument you guys make is 100 based on all-time comparison. All MCs lose something there because nobody can be perfect. Breathe. No one's asking anybody to be perfect. I think that we're talking about, in my personal opinion, this is an artist that, if we're correlating this to basketball, right? This is somebody who might make the All-Star reserve team 2 or 3 times. You know what I mean? And that's being generous. You know what I'm saying?
Antoine Jameson.
Yeah, and it's like, we're not going to bring up Antoine Jameson in an all-time NBA conversation. We're just not.
Detlef Shrimp.
Christian Laettner. But see, these guys got college careers.
No. Laettner only made 1 All-Star team. At least Detlef made a few.
Mm-hmm.
No, Antoine made 4. Detlef made 3.
Antoine
That's what
made
I'm saying.
4? Wow. Shout out
Antoine Jameson made I think he made at least 2 or 3, Mike. Yeah, he did.
I liked Antoine Jameson's game a lot.
Yeah, he's got a great game. Like there are guys like that, Mike. That's what I'm saying. Like there are guys who are ballers. Remember Derek Harper for the Knicks?
Mm-hmm.
Derek Harper used to play for the Mavericks. He should have made an All-Star team with the Mavericks in the Western Conference. But guess what? That's when the Western Conference still had Magic Johnson, John Stockton.
Yeah.
Tim Hardaway was still in his prime. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, you ain't gonna
it's hard to. It was hard to make the team. Then he moves to New York. You know what I'm saying?
Brian with the super chat says, Coop, to clarify, not saying he's top 50. Okay. Melvin Wright with the super chat says, Soul tapes were mixtapes. Those weren't retail. Now you're moving the post.
Say what now?
He says, Soul tapes were mixtapes. Those weren't retail. Now you're moving the post. Jay Short with the super chat says, in fairness, don't we give Lil Wayne extra credit for his mixtapes? Also, Soul tapes came at the end of the mixtape era. I don't think we give Wayne extra credit for his mixtapes. I think we do for his hit singles and his features. And I think for a lot of people, what the mixtapes add to Wayne is validation that he can rhyme. But when it comes to the records, I don't think we do.
I don't even believe that, Mike, because I still believe his greatest validation of skills of rhyme is the Carter 2, which is an album. And if anything, I actually think Wayne's mixtapes sometimes hurt him. And listen to what I'm about to say, because there's so much material that gets lost in the minutia of his greatness.
Not Mad Max. Michael Williams with the super chat says, which Jay-Z feature is better? I Love the Dough or Never Let Me Down?
I love the dough.
You know, this is what I'm going to say, man. I really...
Rhyming next to Big.
I personally like the verses on Never Let Me Down more.
Rhyming next to Big.
But I'm kind of going to go with Coop on this because Never Let Me Down are recycled verses.
Are they?
They are recycled verses. They're from the Hovey Baby remix. That's why I like when I talk about the fact that he never really tried when it came to collaborating with Kanye, especially early. Like, you threw him some throwaway recycled verses on the College Dropout when everybody else literally brought their A game. You know what I'm saying? Like,
man, Jay Talk game is just different on I Love the Dough. And the watches be all types of shapes and stones. Being broke is childish and I'm quite grown. Run up in the club with the ice on, me and Python. Scope the spot out, see something nice and I'm gone. You cats is home screaming the fight's on. I'm in the 1,500 seats watching Tyson. Same night, same fight, but one of us cats ain't playing right. I let you tell it.
I don't like the Tupac shot. I don't like the Tupac shot, but you know. But you know what, man?
The two felons, and tell me you won't ball every chance you get. At any chance we hit, we live for the moment. Makes sense, don't it?
I was talking to somebody about this the other day, man. I was talking to somebody about this the other day.
I Love the Dough.
I was
like, how about this?
Go ahead.
If people, like, I actually prefer. That might be the one time it's like people feel like he may have like had the better verse than Big on Young G's, but it's like I feel like if he ever style-wise was as good as Big, that's the record. Like everything that Biggie is, flow and delivery style-wise, Jay matches on that record. And that's why, like, I actually listen to I Love the Dough more than I listen to Brooklyn's Finest because I think they sound better together on the record. Because I think they've got the competitiveness out the way and they're focused on making the record. But Jay's flow is disgusting on
I think it's a better record. I love Jay on Angela Winbush samples. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just feels different. I was talking about this with somebody the other day, man. I never liked, I still don't. I don't like the Tupac shots on Life After Death. I think they're so unnecessary. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think that a lot of that added to the animus that, you know, ultimately created that environment for his untimely demise at the location it happened. Like, it was just unnecessary, man. I wish those things would have been cut out of the album. The man was gone. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, here's what I'll tell you is that, you know, words are powerful, Mike. They'll manifest themselves into reality. So, you know, say less.
Yeah. Melvin Wright with the super chat says, underachiever on albums should rate the same way that you rate Jada. I was thinking that when we said that about underachieving on albums. So what would you tell somebody that says, okay, well, Jadakiss underachieved on albums? What's the difference between him and Fab?
Okay, so this is what I'm saying. Did you listen to the Fab songs that I just listed off?
Mm-hmm.
Let's start listing off Jadakiss's song right quick.
Okay.
Knock Yourself Out.
Okay.
We Gonna Make It.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, there it
Put
is.
your hands up.
Put your hands up.
Listen to those 3 records. Those 3 records off his first album are better than any 3 of those fabulous records I just named.
Does Jadakiss have a better song than Breathe to you?
No, here's what I'm saying is that Breathe would go up against We Gonna Make It. You put the best song against the best song. Now, what's the better record? We Gonna Make It or Breathe?
You know what? I personally say We Gonna Make It, but Breathe is actually a fabulous record, whereas We Gonna Make It is Jada and Style. So that does Jada have a? He does. The last verse is crazy. Does Jada have a song where it's just him that you would put up against Breathe?
Yeah, Jason, the Swiss Beat record, Jason.
Okay.
Yeah,
the
I
L
put
Web
Jason up against Breathe.
The L Web with the super chat says, "I'm taking diplomatic immunity and chicken and beer over Get Rich or Die Trying." That's crazy. Speaking of which, though, what say you when it comes to Cam and Jada on an all-time, like, because Cam got the albums. But Cam got the albums and the singles, though.
That's it. 1, 2. That's it. You got to have more than 2 things to beat Jada, because Jada has everything else. Jada and Meth are in the same spot where it's like, matter of fact, no, Meth is in a different spot because Meth's got the hit records, the singles, and like all that stuff.
And the hook
but
game.
Jada's in a spot where it's like, the only people better than Jada, Mike, are Method Man and people with multiple classics. I don't know how else to say that to people. The only people better than, I'm going to say it again, the only people better than Jadakiss have multiple classics and bigger hits.
Let me ask you this, though.
Those are the only people walking around better than Jadakiss, Mike. That's only like 15 to 16, 17 people.
What would you say makes Jadakiss immune to not having that quintessential classic album?
I don't know. Like, how about this? If Jadakiss had a Purple Tape or a Purple Tape 2, y'all would we would have him in the spot that I have Ray in. You know what I'm saying?
So you don't know what makes him immune to that. I mean, because explain why, you know.
When you say immune to it, that's what I'm saying about being like some of the victim of circumstance. It's like, first of all, how about this? This is what I'm saying. Like, are these records not big enough for? I think some of what happened to Jadakiss was that, you know, New York kind of fell out of favor with the mainstream a little bit around his comeuppance, with the exception of 50's comeuppance. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like the time that he actually dropped actually was kind of like maybe a bad time, like for him. But you and I have often talked about, well, let's look at it like this, Mike. How many verses
Thumbs
are
up
all
in the
about
chat,
the
y'all.
Benjamin?
Thumbs up in the chat. You say how many verses?
How many verses are on All About the Benjamin? It's 5, right?
Yep, five verses.
That's one of the biggest and best rap songs ever, is it not?
It is.
Didn't Jadakiss write 2 of those verses?
He did.
Okay. Isn't he on a record with Mariah? Isn't he on a record with Jennifer Lopez?
He is.
I'm just asking questions here. Is he not on a record with DMX?
He is.
Multiple times. Has he not, and listen to what I'm saying, has he not faded Jay-Z and DMX? And maybe even in some people's opinion, Nas on record. Well, yes.
Well,
like he's got everything but that undeniable classic.
I want to stop you there, though. I want to stop you there because I know for me, when Jada was getting like the biggest buzz as possible, I think with DMX being in the Rough Riders, and we saw what DMX did with It's Dark and Hell is Hot, for me, at the time, that was a big separation between who Jada is as an MC and where somebody like DMX is. And I think that
the better MC, X is the bigger star.
Yeah, but I think this is some of the stuff that we're talking about with Fab too, because in my mind, when I hear somebody execute on the album like It's Dark and Hell is Hot, in my mind, I'm like, as an MC, I don't see Jada being able to pull that off. As an MC, I don't see somebody like Fab being able to pull that off. So this is somebody that's in a different dimension. Now, in Jadakiss's case, there are some things that he can do that DMX couldn't do at that time. You know what I
I was
mean?
about to say, Mike, It's Dark and Hell is Hot, Mike, though. Like, It's Dark and Hell is Hot, it's like, well, only people that can make that album, in my opinion, is like Scarface.
Yeah.
Like, the end.
Well, see, this is the thing too, and what makes, I don't want to say hurt to Jada's case, but it's like when you look at Styles P, when they rap back and forth together, I mean, they have the best back and forth in my personal opinion. They're MCs on the same level, but Styles P makes the better projects. So
let's
how
pause
could
for a
we
second.
have Jada so high and Styles not there? Like, that's even more egregious than, Andre being at 12 and Big Boy not being on the list at all. Because really, why are they so far apart?
I don't have them like super, super far apart. I have Kiss like top 15. I have Styles like top 30, 35. So they're not like a world away from each other in my world. I will tell you, Styles makes the better albums. That's it, Mike.
That's a big thing, though.
No, it's a big thing.
That's a big thing. Does he not make the
No,
better
it's a big
singles?
thing.
And then when you talked about We Gonna Make It, We Gonna Make It is just as much Styles' song as it is Jada's.
That's not true. Jada's got the whole last
Okay.
verse to himself. It's definitely Jada's song because of that.
Okay, I'll give you that.
And that was emphasized, I think. Hold on. I want to go through, like, listen to the records that he's on. First of all, we went through All About the Benjamins, right? Last Day, 24 Hours to Live. In fairness to you, Styles is on a lot of these records. Styles is not on All About the Benjamins, though, now, is he?
He's not.
Okay, so let's just get that straight. You want to know why? Because he don't like doing records like that back then. You
That's
feel
true.
what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's fair.
And so don't be like making it seem like Styles like was trying to make these bangers. Like Kiss was making an effort too, and that needed to be like lauded and applauded. I'll Be Missing You, of course. I mean, We'll Always Love Big Papa, of course, they're part of. Money, Power, Respect, If You Think I'm Jiggy. The Lil' Kim and Money, Power, Respect, obviously. Ride or Die Bitch. But he's got Why, Knock Yourself Out. Those are all by himself, right?
Right.
Okay, so what does Styles have, like Why or Knock Yourself Out?
I would say Good Times. I get high every day.
No, I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Good Times. Yeah.
Oh, let me get to the super chat real quick. Roy Warner with the super chat says, I don't base quality on sales. I dislike ABC raps. Yeah, we don't either. You know what I'm saying? Melvin Wright with the super chat says, Interscope / Aftermath, period. 50 was overrated. Ooh, I can't wait to get into this next conversation. Esquire with the super chat. Man, gosh, people just be blowing me up. Esquire with the super chat says, Coop, what was the first song that you played when you touched down in New York? Mine was Got Out the Airport. The mob picked me up in the truck. Give it up fast.
Give it up fast. I'll tell you what, when I hopped into 007's 007-ish whip, The World Is Yours was playing. But actually before that, to much people's surprise, because of the amount of hip hop that I take in, I don't usually listen to rap in my free time like that anymore. So I was actually listening to a little Isley Brothers when I was coming out of the airport.
Nice.
Like, literally.
Jay Short with the
little drifting on a memory. Ain't nowhere I'd rather be than with you.
I was just listening to that record today. Jay Short with the super chat says, people don't like Get Rich or Die Trying because it's not the typical lyrical miracle New York rap. I think a lot of New Yorkers resent 50 for not keeping it New York enough with the production. Yeah, because he had to go out west to get his situation. And yeah, he was using some southern slang and he had some banging beats. I don't know, man. It feels like that's a lot of Monday morning quarterbacking because I don't feel like New York was complaining in the moment when 50 was taking over with Get Rich or Die Trying. You know what I'm saying?
It was like we have a new king.
Yeah, I don't remember New York complaining about Get Rich or Die Trying in the moment.
No, they treated
Niggas
that
was
man like
riding the
king.
wave. Leroy Green with the super chat says, now list Conway's hits. It's a good one. Blue Collar Hustler with the super chat says, "May I say that I agree with everything y'all are saying, but Breathe is a top 10 single of the 2000s. That song bangs hard." Okay.
What? It might not even been a top 10 single that year.
Roy Wana with the super chat says, "It has great single/hits." I'm sorry, I guess he. But it stops there. I guess he's talking about Get Rich or Die Trying. I guess I'm really behind. He says, "It has great single/hits, but it stops there. Not an ounce of impressive lyricism expected for a classic. Commercial trash." Wow, y'all are really You know what? I hope the same people who say these things about Get Rich or Die Trying aren't the same people who say that Eminem has classic albums. Because that album's better than every fucking album he's ever put out. No matter how lyrical miracle he is.
By far. Like, without question. Like, here's what I will submit to you. Do you remember the last episode that we had where I was like, and we were talking about Benny? And I was like, nah, go make some more one-way flights instead of Rubber Bands and Wait and Rick and 97 Hove. The way people are behaving in the chat right now is exactly why I'm saying that. Because here's the reality of the matter, Mike, and you know this. Like, you know Benny and Conway's catalog. Oh, the only thing they missing is some hit records, and they shooting past a lot of these niggas that they talking about, including Fab. You feel what I'm saying?
And these are the same people who are discrediting the hit records.
Yeah. You notice how when we're talking this Conway thing, now they're like, oh, well, Conway don't have no what?
Hits. But if he did have the hits, they would find a way to discredit it.
All these quote-unquote rap niggas up in here in this chat, when I'm talking about Conway, that claim that they love some street shit and love some real hip-hop, Mike. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
But now I start talking about they man Fab, and they like, Conway ain't got no hits. You see how niggas turn so quick?
Right.
And that's why you go make bangers and don't listen to your core audience. Because as soon as them niggas get an opportunity to, they'll turn on you and be like, but that nigga ain't got no hits.
Oh, right. but when you do make the Get Rich or Die Trying, I don't like the commercial stuff. Like 50 said, man, Banks told me, man, go ahead, switch the style up. And if they hate, then let them hate and watch the money pile up. He told you. True Life with the super chat says, a good social media poll/debate topic, which is the better album intro and why? Jay-Z's The Rule Is Back or Nas' Stillmatic intro?
Stillmatic intro. That's Blood of a Slave, Heart of a King. Like, that's, for some people might think that's his best album intro.
Yeah, I might go with Stillmatic intro, but if we were talking about the Dynasty intro, I would feel different. Not a huge Rule Is Back fan. I think it's a great intro for that album, but again, when you take on Rick the Ruler, it's like, you know, it never can be that. So it's good for what it is. Maybe I don't hold it as high as other people do, you know. Jay Short with the super chat says, what you guys think of those New Black Thought collabo tracks with L. Michaels' Affair? Very underwhelming. Thought sounds uninspired and too experimental. I haven't heard them yet, and I haven't heard anybody speak on them. You heard them, Coop?
I haven't heard it, but what I will submit to you is what I submitted to you about the Danger Mouse project. Well, Thought on that album, and I think you can kind of go look at the Roots projects probably too, Mike, and you'll find it too. Well, he does as well as the beat does a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And when the beat's epic, so is Thought. Because when I thought about it, some of my favorite Roots beats are some of my favorite Thought Mike performances, like Rock You on Phrenology.
Yep.
I'm like, oh, but listen to that beat though.
Yeah, he steps it up. I mean, I think most MCs do that. Like, it's the energy of the production. Raising Yoda with the super chat says, speaking of Wayne, I never really got into him. What do you guys feel is the best album to start with? It's a good question. I personally would say the best album to start with, to me, would be the Carter 2. before he got into all the auto tune stuff, and when he was really rapping, and he was fresh off mixtapes or in between mixtapes, I would go Carter 2 and then maybe Carter 3 from there. What do you say, Coop?
I like that question.
I like that question too.
I think that a lot of that would have to do is where regionally you are from and what you stylistically prefer. Like if you prefer Get Rich or Die Trying over It's Dark and Hell is Hot, I would actually tell you that you probably need to hear the Carter 3 first and then work in reverse and then go listen to the Carter 2 and then the Carter 1. But if you're somebody that's more into the growth and development of an artist, you should listen to the Carter 1 and then go to the Carter 3. If you just want to hear their best rap shit, Carter 2, like Mike said. So I think it depends on from what angle and perspective you're approaching.
Yeah. JB was here with the super chat, says, how is Kiss ahead of Busta on your list? Is he? Does Kiss deserve to be ahead of Busta?
Yeah.
They said, how is Kiss ahead of Busta on the list?
What do you mean, how?
Busta got the hit records. Busta got the albums. Busta got better albums than Kiss too. Now let's keep it.
Hold on. Where we got Kiss at? We got Kiss at 21 and Busta at 24.
They're not too far apart. Godfather with the super chat says Jada have a song with Big Nas and Jay and X. Yeah, he does.
Yeah. No. Fuck having a song with him. He faded Jay and X when they was on a record together. Go listen to Blackout.
LP with the super chat says, nah, Coop, Jada is the better lyricist, not MC to X. So you say X is the better MC. And since we're talking about MCs, I think that's a decent transition. The Godfather MC, the person that came up with the title MC, Mr. Melly Mel, he had a lot to say about, everything, basically. But the one that really got people going, it wasn't the fact that he said Kendrick Lamar lacks influence. Wasn't really the fact that he said that Wayne can't be the GOAT because he uses auto-tune. The thing that he said, you were going to say something, Coop?
He said Kendrick Lamar lacks influence. Sounds like he's been listening to a fairly notarized podcast that is burgeoning and growing by the day.
Or maybe we're just spitting some barbershop talk that most people in the mainstream media is scared to spit. Well, the one that he said that got everybody going is the fact that he said that he feels that Eminem is considered top 5 because he's white. And, I'm no stranger to this topic or whatever, but I think it's very interesting to me that they start pulling MCs out the woodwork to defend Eminem against Melly Mel. I just saw a live where Fat Joe and Papoose were talking about they disagree with Melly Mel on this. I saw TMZ interviewing Kevin Gates on this, and Kevin Gates, now let's keep it real, man. I don't know Kevin Gates personally. I've heard his music for years and years, but for this man to say Eminem's in his top 5, a part of me just doesn't believe that. You know what I mean? Like if I ran up on Kevin Gates and seeing what he's listened to, I doubt it's Eminem, right? So he went out there to refute this. Obviously, Crooked Eye 50 Cent. And I think my biggest thing is, I have 2 things. First thing is, people love to lean on the fact that when Rakim said what he said about Eminem, when he was asked about Eminem's place and he said something favorable, people love to continuously go back to that. That was 20 years ago, and people utilize that and use that whenever they want to credentialize Eminem, right? And then you get somebody who is the... I bet you when
Rakim said it too, Mike, he didn't know that it was going to go that far and become what it was. He was just trying to pay the man some respect and homage while he was having his moment in time, because that's who Rakim is.
Yeah, exactly. And we also have to factor in the fact that Rakim was on Interscope at the time. He was on Aftermath at the time. What else is he going to say? Eminem just did I Am Whatever You Say I Am, which takes from Rakim's The rhyme goes on, so paid in full. He paid him homage, so why wouldn't he do the same, right? On a respectful level. Cool, I get that. But when somebody who is Rakim's OG, Melly Mel, actually gives his opinion, and it's not the opinion that everybody wants, that fits everybody's quote unquote agenda, you have every rapper that is in the system coming down to basically refute it. Let Melly Mel have his opinion. He is, by many people's estimation, the first lyricist in hip hop music. So, and y'all want to crown Eminem very high for his lyricism. Listen to the man who actually was hip hop's first great lyricist on record. Let him speak his opinion without everybody having to jump in and say, "Oh no, he's wrong." Let him have his opinion, because everybody let Rakim have his opinion, and y'all actually noted Rakim's opinion and ran with it for 20 years. That's my first issue. You know what I mean? But the second one, and we gotta stop this, man. Whenever somebody says something unfavorable about Eminem, man, all these rappers coming out to defend this man. It's like, yo, man, let this man fight his own battles, man. Like, I don't understand it. Why does everyone have to come out and defend somebody who doesn't even do interviews on hip hop radio? Have you ever heard Eminem being on Flex doing an interview? Does Eminem have a Breakfast Club interview? I remember Eminem calling into Angie's show for like 15 minutes when 8 Mile was coming out or whatever. But I don't never see Eminem out here on these hip hop radio platforms or any hip hop platforms. Speak for yourself. Like, what's the problem? But the fact that people are actually going out here refuting somebody like a Melly Mel, to me, is crazy. Let me get to these super chats real quick. Roy, I'm sorry, Coop. Go ahead. You gonna say anything?
No, go ahead.
Okay. Roy Warner with the super chat says, it's hard to beat Big on a song. He has perfect delivery, beats your better lyricists like Young G's. Lyrical Hove was crazy, but his delivery was superior, definitely. Let's see. Leroy Green with the super chat says, Cam's album SDE, Come Home, and Purple Haze beats Jada. Not mad at that assessment.
I'm not either.
Cam Porter with the super chat says, Pasta News or Jada. Criteria, is lyrics, song, and catalog. Well, Plug One doesn't have a lot of solo material, so that's kind of hard to actually really, match up on. Let's see, some more super chats. Before we continue on, CJ Kidd with the super chat says, if it is possible, Mike and Coop, can you explain what to you guys makes a classic album? I think that's a really good question. What's your opinion on what makes a classic album, Coop?
I think there are a lot of intangibles that are involved, and so to try to put in words what a classic is, like simply put, like in a quick, like just call and response type of reaction, I think is a disservice to the craft. But what I will say is that what a classic does is that it makes you feel something, and it evokes a series of emotions out of our class of people in this hip hop culture that make us gravitate towards it and argue towards it and about it for better or for worse. Like, Mike, we are literally still arguing about what the best song on Only Built for Cuban Links is.
Yeah.
Came out in 1995. We're still arguing about it. I'm having fight with grown men that I had fights with when we were kids about it. Like, we are still fighting about it. That's that intangible thing. The beats and the rhymes and the concepts and the schemes have to make you feel something and think something, for better or for worse. Like, It's Dark and It's Hell is Hot and The Diary and Niggas for Life, they're not evoking any positive imagery or any positive takeaways, really, Mike. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
But they're making you feel something that kind of like transcends like time and space. It's like it's a moment. It's what music is supposed to do.
I think there's a couple of ways you can look at it, right? And I agree with you. There's a lot of intangible stuff that makes classic albums. I think there's two ways that I've always looked at classic albums. You can have an album that just has so many classic bangers on it, for lack of a better term, that you just can't deny its classic nature, right? Or you could just have one of those albums that you think just flows perfectly and brings out the artist perfectly. I think B is one of those for me. Common's B sounds like a classic album, and it sounds like, okay, as talented as Common is, this album represents him at his best from start to finish.
But this is what I'm saying. It felt classic.
Right.
Like when the intro to B comes on,
yeah,
it felt classic. Mike, when you sent me the track listing for Pray for Paris, Mike, remember what I texted you back? I'll never forget. I said, Mike, that looks like the cover to a classic rap album.
Yeah.
Because it felt that way when I looked at it. I hadn't heard any music yet, Mike, and I told you, I was like, that looks like a classic rap cover. I was like, that's what classic rap covers look like, because it makes you like see, think, and feel something, like boom. Yeah. I'm like, ooh.
Brother Gabe with the super chat says, did y'all hear Hitmaker dissing Hit Boy on Hot 97 today with Jim Jones? After Ebro bigged them both up, he told Ebro don't compare them. He makes smashes and songs on the radio. Hit Boy isn't heard like that. Oh man, I think that's just competitive fervor. I mean, that's just not true. Yeah, I'll listen. You know what? I need to listen to that Hitmaker and Jim Jones that's coming out Friday. But if he wants to put,
what's the last thing Hitmaker made that people was talking about like
if he wants to put himself in that chamber, then we can compare that to KD3 on Friday. If it's like that,
he don't know, Mike. He don't want to do that. That's what I'm saying.
Production wise.
Like, no, Mike, people got to stop talking this way. Like, they want to smoke with this man right now. He just made 4 great albums in 2.5 years. You don't want that smoke.
No.
You don't, like, how about this? You don't have enough high-level beats with enough high-level artists rhyming over them. He has Nas rhyming over all these records.
Yeah, a record with Jim Jones ain't gonna
It's some trump card shit. It's like, who rapping over that beat? It's like, oh, are they Nas? It's like, oh, well, good luck.
Raising Yoda with the super chat says, Coop mentioned it, but how often do you listen to hip hop, and do you listen to older stuff more often? I'm always all across the board, man. Like, it's just all about what I'm feeling in the moment. But I end up listening to a lot of hip hop. Brother Gabe with the super chat says, Hitmaker said that he would do a versus with Hit Boy. All Hit Boy got is Paris and Sickle Mode. See, that sounds like he's just trying to get in the conversation, honestly.
It's very problematic.
I mean, just from my perception. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it sounds like he's just trying to get in the conversation. Roy Warner with the super chat says, stop it. Hove had it. Look at the comments. Hove had it. All right. JY with the super chat says, Mel used White America by Eminem to prove his point. M said it himself in terms of being white. So why is it racist if a black guy says it? And that is what Melly Mel said. Melly Mel said on White America, Eminem said that if he was black, he would have sold half. He also listed his top 10 on Till I Collapsed, and he had 9 MCs ahead of him. So, I mean, I think Melly Mel makes a good point there as well. I think that, again, the fact that we have to, a lot of the things that Melly Mel said, a lot of people disagree with. The whole Wayne thing, right? The whole thing with Kendrick, right? The whole thing with him saying that Pac was better than Jay. That's not a popular thing to say, right? Gipp said these same things. But cool. Did you see any of these rappers come out the woodwork defending Jay-Z, defending Wayne, or defending Kendrick Lamar? Did you? Why is it when it comes to this guy, everybody in the world has to come out and say, no, man, he top 5. He's top 5. What it feels like is somebody is sending people to go out here and defend this person. That's what it feels like. I'm not saying that's what's happening, but the fact that we're constantly getting other rappers coming out of nowhere having to fight this man's battles feels like they're being sent. And, I hate to say it like this in this toxic masculinity type of environment, but hip-hop is a man's sport. and men fight their own battles. And for whatever reason, this MC who's supposed to be so superior and so high and mighty seems to notoriously have others fighting his battles. Ethan Hill with the super chat. Yeah, go ahead.
You mind if I offer you a couple of retorts right quick? First of all, I totally agree with you on this respect and this aspect, and we need to just address it. And it has nothing to do with music. That's a grown-ass man. And quite frankly, and I think I've given 50 some props today, 50 need to just be quiet and let this man fight some of his battles and stop trying to play like he's this man's security or bodyguard, because ain't nobody shook by 50 either. You feel what I'm saying? It's like 50 popping off like ain't shaking nobody up, because 50 in a lot of ways, Mike, is looked at as a troll when it comes to his commentary on social media. He set it up that way. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
And so that's smart for you business-wise, but it's like, understand, like, you're not doing your homie any favors, fam.
Exactly.
Like, you making your homie look like a little bit of a bitch. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, because it's like that. No. Like, we want to keep it street, tell you how the streets work. It's like, ain't but so many times you can step outside and your man step up for you, and niggas on the block start asking, like, yo, why your man's always got to step up and talk for you or fight your fights for you? Like, look, you can't fight, little nigga? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And that's why I mentioned what I mentioned in that Royce thing.
Mike, because we got to keep it fair, because to contextualize it and to keep it honest, and you and I have had this debate and this conversation many times, and I think our biggest divide is that, well, do I think of him what you think of him? No. But I don't have that motherfucker top 5 either. He's not top 5.
No, he's not.
And people that are walking around offended, thinking that he should be top 5, oh, those are the people that we need to be addressing even more than he needs to be addressed. Because if you'll notice, when he gets put this high, well, he doesn't address it. People address it for him. I'm talking about addressing the people that's addressing it for him. Because here's the thing. If it was that big a deal to him, or if it was worth his salt, as a grown-ass man, he should come out and say something, don't you think?
Exactly. Ethan Hill with the super chat says, and I know Ethan is a huge Eminem fan. He said, Eminem is top 5. Have you guys addressed Nicki at 10? Okay, I'll address this real quick. And I think I did, or I was planning to. People are defending a list that has Nicki Minaj at number 10 ahead of Rakim and LL Cool J. Y'all are defending that list against Melly Mel when you're sitting here arguing that Eminem is top 5 and Melly Mel says no. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, who really believes, other than some Eminem stan, and I say this respectfully, Ethan Hill, you truly believe that Eminem has put in the work in this game to be better than KRS-One? You truly believe that Eminem has put in the work in this game to be better overall than Rakim, LL Cool J, Jay-Z, Nas, Tupac? We'll leave Biggie out of it because people will say Biggie had 2 albums. But you know what? Biggie's 2 albums are better than anything Eminem has ever created in his life. Correct? Or am I bugging?
Yeah. No, you're not bugging.
Jermaine Johnson with the super chat says the new Talib and Madlib Liberation 2 album is fire. Good songs. Bars are crazy. Unfortunately, it's only available on Luminary, but it's a really great project. Well, hopefully we'll be able to get to it, but, you know, Luminary's tough to get through. Lex Diesel with the super chat says a classic album doesn't have to be flawless, but it does have to be overwhelmingly great collectively from beginning to end. It's also usually debatable on which song is the best on a classic album. Definitely. I think you hit a lot of those marks right there, Lex Diesel. Let's see, I want to see what some of the other people have to say here. Raising Yoda with the super chat says, M was a novelty that Dre took a chance on. It made M, he said it made him M was, what made him M was the novelty that captured the hearts of the mainstream and alternative black folks. He is good, but to me, he's top 25 easily. Okay. Yeah, I see some people saying that Eminem is better than Jay-Z. You want to explore that? How and I hear that on some of these chat rooms and stuff too. How can you quantify that? Now
we gotta stop. No, we gotta stop entertaining that. That's what I'm saying.
Well, let's entertain it for a moment because we've never
that's not a viable conversation.
It's not.
That conversation begins and ends with reasonable doubt.
Exactly. And then let's throw in the Blueprint in there. And then do you want to go through the actual meaningful records? And this is what I will say to this too. And y'all always want to pull Versus out, which I think is cool because Versus is I think it's a good barometer to understand like how powerful certain people's records are in this game. Do you really feel comfortable putting 20 Eminem tracks up against 20 Jay-Z tracks? Do you feel comfortable in doing that?
You asking me? Hell no.
No, I ain't talking to you. I'm talking to the people. I'm talking to the people that are saying these things.
What? No.
Do you really feel comfortable? Like, nigga, what record you want to...
I'll take a broom hand. What are you talking like on 30? Yeah. Nigga, I'll take a mop handle sweep. Nigga, hold on. What? Wait.
Yeah, what? Exactly. No. What Eminem record you want to put up against the Evils and Dead Presidents? Or you don't know? Or Can I Live?
We don't need to play any of Jay's biggest hits to beat him in a versus. No. Like, I don't need to play Big Pimpin'. I don't need to play Change Clothes. Like, I don't need to play Annie. I don't need to play none of that.
No.
I play Streets is Watching.
Yeah. You can play 1,000,001. What you gonna play after I play 1,000,001? They not even in the. We want to talk about the Fab thing or whatever.
It's the whole problem with Can I Live drop.
And I want to be consistent here. I'll say the same thing that I said about Fab about M. Like when it comes to comparing M and J, like M's not even his class. I never felt like that. I never felt like M was even in this man's class.
Because when you talking top five, it's like who? It's like you understand like when you talking top five, like thousands upon thousands of MCs that have graced this world now, millions. Talking top five,
bro.
Talking Nas, you talking Rakim, you talking Jay, you talking Big, you talking Pac, like you talking Ghost, you talking. It's different talk, Mike. That's different talk. You're just gonna be talking this way like that's regular shit. There's been millions of people that have done this to make the top five. You know what I'm saying,
bro?
It's like making it seem like he just no, he don't have the records. That's what I'm saying. Like the records, like this is why Check the Rhyme is always one of my favorite songs and reference points to go through, Mike. Because when I be like, check the rhyme, no, I mean check the rhyme, as in like check the rhyme, but check the song out too, Mike. Like the rhyme and the song gotta be on point. He don't have enough of the songs. He got the rhyme part right.
And that shit's cool too. And you know what? That rhyme part is on some technical mumbo jumbo shit a lot of the times, to be perfectly honest with you.
It's not Jay's talk game, Mike. This is what I'm saying. I mean, I can fade him. It's like, fuck all that, Mike. What he got for Who You With? Superman? Who You With still better than Superman.
Man, please, of course it is. And that ain't even a top fucking 80 Jay-Z record.
Mike, that's what I'm saying. I can play Hey Poppy.
Listen, man. And I think a lot of people, and I told this to one of my younger friends the other day, I think a lot of people who may have been more in their impressionable ages or stages when M was in his prime probably look at it a lot different than you and I do. I look at him as the quirky guy that came in, on some, any man type stuff. He was a dope rapper or whatever, but I never put him in the class of the Mos Defs, the Jay-Z's, the Bigs, or any of that. And so when out of nowhere he got in those conversations, I'm like, wait a minute now, what are we doing? Because there's nothing, no album that was ever put out by Eminem even warrants those conversations.
I got a real sincere question for the chat. What makes Eminem better than Jadakiss? That's how I know he's not top five. He's not even Kiss.
He's not.
Right. We get on Kiss for not having, like, Kiss is, you get what I'm saying?
Come on, man.
Do I got to break this shit down? I will if I have to.
And again, do you feel comfortable going 20 versus 20 with Jadakiss and M?
I'm gonna have a ball, Mike.
Yeah. If you're an Eminem fan, do you feel comfortable going up against Jadakiss? 20 songs to 20 songs.
Bro. You don't want to do that with Kiss?
No. 36 Chambers with the $20 super chat showing love. He says, not an Eminem fan, but I thought that he addressed that years ago. His addiction issues stem from him also obsessing over what people thought. Is it possible that these other MCs believe that he's top 10? Devil's advocate. I don't believe that, and this is what
He
I'm going to
can't
say.
make Doggy Style. He's not better than Snoop.
I
Where
was
is he
going to
better
say
than Snoop
that.
except for lyrically?
I was going to say
Like,
that.
where is he better? No, for real. He's a better lyricist and storyteller than Snoop. Where is he better than Snoop outside of that?
I don't even know if he's
People
a
was
better.
fighting with me about having Snoop in my top 10, and you're telling me the only thing this guy got is lyrics and stories, which means like in the criteria he would win 2 out of the 9 categories against Snoop. Right. So how's he top 5 when he's not even Snoop? And people are fighting with me about Snoop being top 10.
I'm glad you mentioned Snoop, because that was another situation where when Snoop got on
He can't
Breakfast
make
Club, right? When Snoop got on Breakfast Club and said that he could live without M's music, everybody jumps out the window, and once again, you have the MC brigade of everybody who feels like they got to jump out there and apologize for this. Like, the man spoke his truth and said, "Listen, I could live without Eminem's music. Is that a problem to y'all? Like, why does it always have to be everybody jumps in to help this individual? If it's like that, it's like that. You know what I mean? Like, even when T-Pain said what he said about Tupac, talking about Tupac would get roasted in this era, nobody jumped out there piling up on T-Pain except for us.
No, T-Pain's still cut off. No, he's still cut off about that.
Yeah, of course he is. No, that's it.
He's still cut off.
But I'm just saying.
He's done.
But whenever somebody questions Eminem being top 5, which he's not, everybody comes out the woodwork with something to say. And y'all gonna say this against somebody like a Melly Mel? Like, have people lost their minds, Coop? And not to mention, man, like, poor Royce, man, in this situation, because Royce got jumped, for lack of a better term, by 2 supreme lyricists in Lupe Fiasco and Mickey Fax, and Eminem doesn't jump to the defense of anything in that situation. But every time people have come at M in any kind of way or being critical, Lord Jamar, whatever, Royce is always the person who has his friends back. And I don't knock Royce and 50 and even Crooked Eye for going out there having M's back. But like you said, you also have to understand that if you have to continuously, routinely do this, it's not a good look for your man, especially when your man's supposed to be one of the greatest ever. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, you remember when Memphis was going at Nas, right? And Jay steps in. And we understand that because this is Memphis Bleak and this is Nas. And Jay has to step in that situation. That's fine. They're treating Eminem like he's Memphis Bleak to Jay. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, no, he's
Listen
Eminem,
here.
right?
You know
he's
what?
supposed to be that guy.
And people need to understand something, too. That wasn't even just Jay stepping in as a big brother. That's Jay stepping in as a businessman, being like, Nas can kill this nigga whole career. He signed to my label. Right. That's the part of it people understand. People thinking it's some big brother Brooklyn shit. Mm-hmm. It's like, no, what Memphis Bleak signed to? No, he signed to Rockefeller.
Exactly.
Jay's a hustler.
Exactly.
He knows who Nas is as an MC. He like, no, he can ruin fam's career.
Exactly. You stepping into my interest right
No,
here.
No.
Yeah.
So don't think, it's like all of y'all thinking that Jay wanted to step to Nas. Like, no. That's a business decision to step. Because he understands, oh, no, he about to come over here now. That's a problem for my business.
And you know what? Much respect to 50 once again, because I feel like 50's one of those guys, he might not have won every battle, but he showed up. You know what I'm saying? Like, even when Styles and Jada...
I got his ass with the times.
No, they were killing it. Checkmate's crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Bananas.
Yeah, and the other record over I Shot Ya was bananas. But my thing is, where was Eminem? Where? Because on the other end, because if it was flipped, 50 would have had his back. But again, whatever.
And here's what I mean. Like, this is why I was making the Snoop comment. Like, Glove is right. Like, Snoop's not our best MC, but like I said, Mike, and Glove echoed my sentiments and confirmed it for me. Snoop's the biggest star rap I've ever seen.
Straight up.
Can you imagine Eminem being in a versus with the biggest star rap's ever seen, who actually has the fucking catalog to match it? Did you see what Murder Was the Case did to DMX.
Listen, man.
Were
If
you
I
there?
had
People acting like DMX. That's not a regular guy. You understand that? Those aren't regular records.
no, those aren't.
Made Slippin' seem like an afterthought, Mike. I was like, I guess Slippin' ain't as hard as I thought.
That was one of the most amazing moments I've ever seen in verses. When
That's
DMX,
one of the most amazing moments I've ever seen in rap, Mike. He made one of my he made one of the what I thought was one of the most well-written rap songs of the last 25 years, a fucking footnote.
You're right. He dwarfed it.
I was like, so that record ain't that good. Never mind. I don't know shit, Mike. Snoop had me questioning what I knew about rap the way he was waxing X with some of them records, Mike, respectfully.
He would have beat anybody that night. And I mean anybody. Ethan Hill, I'll tell you this, man. I know Ethan Hill's a huge Eminem fan. If I get Snoop Dogg and I get 20 records and you get Eminem and you get 20 records, I will beat you 20-0. And I'm not just saying that in conjecture. Like, seriously.
What? Well, hold on. What would you do with the dog pound? What he got for what would you do?
Nothing. And I probably wouldn't even play that.
What he got for Bitch Please? The real Bitch Please.
The real Bitch Please. You know what he would have for the real Bitch Please? Is his whack ass version. I shouldn't say it like that. But part 2 is not part 1. I think we all know that, right? Darius Campbell with the $20 super chat showing love. He says, hey, Mike, lots of us have serious inferiority complexes. This is the danger in inviting everyone to the cookout. They don't want to just participate. They want to run the entire show. And you know what? People can be invited to do what they do, right? I think that exiling individuals is dangerous. But we have to make sure we continuously keep things in context. And we have to treat everybody like we treating everybody else. Like, I feel like if y'all not going to jump out here and defend Lil Wayne and Kendrick Lamar to Melly Mel, then why are y'all jumping out the window defending Eminem? And again, like I said, if y'all are going to hang on every single word that Rakim said in favor of Eminem, why won't you just sit there and let Melly Mel have his opinion as well? Melly Mel is Rakim's OG.
Mike, I'd like to submit something to you, and I think I've said this before, but I'm going to say it again. Black men in America in positions of power and money, and therefore and thereby influence, have a frightening capability to act like the same oppressive white males they complain about their whole lives. And I'm just going to leave that right there.
I just think that the people who continuously jump out the window in these unnecessary circumstances when people are critical towards this one MC to defend something that doesn't even need to be defended, you're looking crazy, man. And I got all kind of love for Papoose and Fat Joe and them, but for y'all to sit there and even have a conversation about the fact that Melly Mel is off in this, you're off.
Now, Mike, in fairness, he's been off about other things in the past, has been known to go off the handle.
Exactly, and no one says anything.
But he might not be wrong this time.
Oh, he's not wrong this time. But again, if he were to go out there and say,
his ass too.
But you know what? If he would go out there and say something like, yeah, man, Eminem is definitely top 5, people would hang on that shit forever. And that's the problem, man. It's like, listen, you got to deal.
How about this? Do you know what that would do for our culture? How about this? Let's put this in the inverse. Imagine if we have footage of Melly Mel and then Rakim both saying Eminem is top 5. So we have our first great MC and the guy who made the MC what the MC is today saying that. Do you know what that would mean for Eminem? And he's so Melly Mel is actually kind of being what I call a keeper of the flame in this context. He's like, oh, I'm not doing that.
He's providing balance.
And I understand who I am. Yeah. And so I'm going to provide some balance and some levity to this because y'all done took the God's words too far.
Exactly. And you know what? In the fact that he's providing balance and you have people out here trying to refute his opinion that is providing balance is a problem. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's the fact that it's coming from to quote Yasin Bey, who's way better than Fabulous, sometimes it's your own people. Sometimes it's your own people.
Roy Warner with the super chat says M's verse on Renegade and EPMD 2, a 2-trick pony. Let's see, get some of these other super chats. Deontay Smith with the super chat says, I have Kiss over M on my list, but does Kiss have a Lose Yourself? I think that, all right,
That's fair.
let's just be perfectly honest,
No, I
man.
think that's
And if
fair.
we want to do that to Fabulous, I'm gonna be perfectly honest here, man. We gonna make it to better song than Lose Yourself. To me. You got Lose Yourself over We Gonna Make It?
Mike, who are you talking to?
Okay, there we go. I thought I was, I'm just making sure I'm not tripping. Jay Short with the super
I'm just
chat
saying.
says,
No, I'm just saying. If you want to use the lose yourself argument against like Jadakiss, it's like, yeah, that's not enough.
yeah. Jay Short with the super chat says, M is allowed full creative expression. No black artist has ever gotten without backlash. I think that is a very interesting statement. I think that's a very accurate statement.
That's a troubling statement.
No, I think that's a very accurate statement in an era. Now, we look at Stan, and I think Kevin Gates used Stan as his example. Like most people, whenever Eminem's questioned, Stan is always the record that comes up, right? So this is during an era, and what was that, 2000, 2001, where if you were an MC in hip hop, for your single to be released, it had to rock the club. You had to have a record that was actually going to do well on radio or on the nightlife or whatever. Why does Rewind not have a music video? The fact that Eminem was able to make a record like Stan and have it put out as a single shows you that the playing field was different. You know what I'm saying? Like Scarface
is visuals aids to Stan.
Yeah.
You never gonna see the message or the setup of shootouts from It Was Written.
Never. Even in that same era, Coop, you're not gonna see a music video for Rewind. Can you imagine if Eminem made Rewind? We would have visuals for it.
If Rewind had a video, it would literally be talked about like a top 10 rap song of all time.
Yeah. If I Gave You Power had a music video.
Stop that, Mike.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
be going down different.
I'm just saying, if we're gonna go
down
there,
different, Mike, if I Gave You Power had an actual video,
yeah,
we'd be arguing about if it's the best rap song ever.
So you're telling me on that album, the record labels in hip hop said, we need a music video for If I Ruled the World. We need a music video for Street Dreams, the Street Dream remix. We can't make no music video for this record where you've actually personified yourself as a gun. But when Eminem does it, oh yeah, we need a music video for Stan. You know what I'm saying? It's different. And yes, I agree with Jay Short. He has been given ultimate creative license, not only just on the record to be able to say certain things that other MCs can't really say on a mainstream level, but they'll put it out to the masses too on top of that. You were going to say something, cool? I think I cut you off.
It's just such a problematic topic.
It's just the truth that nobody wants to talk about.
Well, here's the thing about it. Like, how about this? Based on our metric and our rating, we have him at 34. When I look at the people who are ahead of him, I cannot necessarily disagree. On the lyricist list, he's going to be much higher. That's all I have to offer. But I can't offer you more than that. Because what he has to offer are songs that don't resonate, though they may have charted and sold. Well, in all honesty, let me finish, Mike. Because he hasn't had, this is what I mean. If you want to talk about his 5-year run and what he did in those 5 years, like 99 to 2004, you're more than entitled to that.
I think that's
but
even
what
a
I would
stretch.
tell you, right? But what 98 to 90 or
I would say 99 to 03, 02.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but what I'm saying is that if you go look at his material and his output for that time, that's not top 10 or 20 MC stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not.
It's not.
Is the MC, now listen to what I'm saying, and this is where it really gets conflated. Is the talent there, in my opinion, for him to be that? Well, yes, but also, too, and this is what I mean about it being conflated, Well, I say this shit about Beanie Siegel all the time too, and don't nobody argue with me about that. I run around here all the time and let niggas know, Bean's a top 5 talent, like all time. And he not about to make this top 20 list either, because
I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you, Coop, and
I think Bean's better than M personally.
Exactly. I was just about to
M can't make no feeling in the air.
I was gonna say
look at me now.
I know a lot of our younger listeners who might not have been there in 99 to 02, which was really Eminem's prime. They might not really understand where we're coming from here. But if you were to ask me in 1999, 2000, 2001, or 2002, who's the better rapper between Eminem and Beanie Siegel, I would have laughed in your face. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not even a conversation. What? You talking about Beanie Siegel that just roasted Jada?
This is what I mean about people have selective memory. Like Mike. What you can't say outside in the streets, you shouldn't go say like behind closed doors about this rap shit. You get what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You could not go outside in no real hip hop based neighborhood around that time talking about some Eminem better than Beans. Niggas be looking at you like you was literally, they'd be like, yo, whose man is this? Like, who folks is this? Who fam is this? If you're on the West Coast, they'd be like, who's your homie? In the South, they'd be like, who your folks? Up top, they'd be like, who's this nigga?
You know what, man? I want a conversation. I know Fat Joe, he's super Hollywood. He ain't gonna talk to us. But I would love to have Papoose on the show, and I want him to have that conversation you and I are just having and tell me in 1999, 2000, 2001, 2002, you would say that Eminem was better MC than Beanie Siegel. Because I know Papoose knows his shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's have some real conversations, hip-hop people. Let's do that. Because when the OG, Melly Mel, comes out here and says, y'all want to act like this man is bugging and got dementia or something. I want Melly Mel to know clear. I don't know if he watches our show. Everything you're saying is accurate, sir. Nothing you're saying is crazy. Nothing you're saying is some hater shit.
The Busta thing was crazy. He said Busta was better than Jay. That's crazy.
Okay, well, we're not talking about that subject.
That's lunacy.
Did you listen to that video? Because I didn't listen to that video specifically. But everything you're saying on this topic,
saying it.
Huh?
No, that's wild. He wild for saying that.
Yeah, he's wild.
That's what I'm saying. He be saying some stuff sometimes. I be like,
Yeah, but as far as this topic, nothing you're saying is off.
Oh yeah.
Eric Terrell with the super chat says M's first 3 albums are fire. He got 20 songs. Come on, he got 20 songs against Jay-Z. He got 20 songs up against top 5 guys. Since you want to talk about him being top 5.
No, listen. Okay, so this is what I'm saying. This is exactly why, and we're gonna go ahead and get started. This is exactly why. I'm just gonna read out the names that we have ahead of Eminem, and you tell me what's wrong with us. Listen to this: Nas, Jay-Z, Rakim, Tupac, Biggie. Stop me if you're finding somebody that's better than Eminem. KRS-One, Ice Cube, Snoop, LL, Scarface, Kanye, Ghostface, Raekwon, Lil Wayne, Common, Chuck B, Method Man, Prodigy, Black Thought, Slick Rick, Jadakiss, Big Daddy Kane, DMX, Busta Rhymes, Drake. We put Drake in this mix after Eminem, and he rose higher than Eminem, I would like to say, too. Lil Kim, Kendrick, Kool G Rap, Q-Tip, Redman, Big Boy, Pusha T, J. Cole, Eminem. What I would submit to you, Mike, is that his best talent is his lyrics. And the 33 people that are ahead of him make me worry about his placement in the top 10 of the lyricist list. Because we ain't got the Lupe yet, and Lupe's a better lyricist.
Straight up.
Yeah. I'm just being honest. We ain't got the AZ yet. We ain't got the Beans yet. These are lyricists. Yeah. We ain't got the Yasin yet. You feel what I'm saying? I think Yasin's a better lyricist than Eminem. So here are the guys that I know are better lyricists than him on this list. Nas, Rakim, KRS-One. I would say Common, Black Thought.
Yeah.
Jadakiss.
Yeah. Kool
G Rap. Redman. Those are the guys that are lyrically better than him that are ahead of him, Mike. That makes him borderline top 10 as a lyricist. We ain't got the Lupe yet, Mike.
Yeah. Nah.
You know I don't like Lupe.
I love Lupe.
I love Lupe's music and what Lupe stands for. He
I
still
think
tried me.
I think you
Try
and Lupe
me.
are a
When you
lot
try me,
alike.
man. When you try me.
I think you and Lupe are a lot alike. I think that's where the
No,
conflict
I
comes
told you that, Mike. I definitely get that vibe and that feeling. That's the problem, Mike. People who are
in.
like me do not get along.
Eric Terrell with the super chat says, Mike, tell me who knew wasn't a great song. Who knew wasn't a great song? It's a
I want
good
to take that
song,
back,
maybe.
Mike. I need to stop saying that I don't like Another Black Man Live. I told myself that I wouldn't do that this year.
Lupe's a great guy, man. You know, I think that we all love hip hop so much, and everybody has studied this thing we put our lives in it, and I think there's a lot of passion that comes with that. You know what I mean?
It's the whole, so I think that you think that you're smarter than me thing that just bugs the fuck out of me sometimes. It's like, oh, that's how you introduce yourself to me. That's some asshole shit I would do, Mike. That's what I'm saying.
Allow me to reintroduce myself.
Right.
Brian
like
with the super chat, he says, Mike D. Jones back with his conspiracies. When you gonna start selling supplements? M may not be in everybody's top 5, but he ain't number 34 like you got him. No real list will ever have him out of the top 15. Why, Brian? Again, I see the, we talk about Leroy Green with the Rock Nation brunch and all that. Brian and Ethan, man, you guys are on Team Shady, but y'all can't come with any evidence. Y'all never come with any records. Y'all never come with any real retorts. I mean, other than the fact that he's supposed to be top 15. Based on what? Based on 2 okay albums? I think his best album, in my opinion, is the Eminem Show, right? Where does the Eminem Show rank in the lexicon of the greatest hip-hop albums of all time? Are you putting the Eminem Show right there with Life After Death and All Eyes on Me and stuff?
Mike, here's what I will tell you, and this is what I'm saying. So maybe we need to do this today. Like, first of all, we need to put 6 guys through this rubric in the next hour.
Okay, we will.
And
I know we're going on 2 hours here.
Right, and then if we have time, we need to maybe start the process, because we'll be at 40 after we do that, and Fabulous will be the last one we do. We need to do the process of maybe starting to audit guys at the top. Like, we'll slide LL, we'll slide everybody down, like people that people may question.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we got Scarface at number 10. Oh, you think Eminem better than Scarface? Let's put Scarface through the mix. So whoever you know what I'm saying? Oh, no. You think that Eminem's better than Raekwon? Let's put him in the mix. You think Eminem better than Chuck D? Come on. You think Eminem better than Prodigy? Come on.
Ice Cube.
Yeah. So I would say that at this point, I think it's about time to segue anyway, because we've all had our fill of Eminem for the day.
Beat a dead horse, right? Let me get to the rest of the super chats and we'll just transition into that. Roy Warner with the super chat says, M doesn't even beat Kiss. Who shot you? Yeah, I mean,
What we were saying, though.
Yeah. AB Studio with the super chat says, Mad Skills is a better rapper than M. Next topic, LOL. Roy Warner with the super chat says, Hove's Grammy Family freestyle wipes anything M has. Not to mention the 44 fours. Like, what are we gonna do when Jay pulls out something like 44 fours? Y'all want to talk about lyricism?
Lyrically, lyrically, don't you prefer? Okay, so I think Jay's a better lyricist.
Of course, he's a better lyricist. And see, I don't like the fact that people try to peg Jay like he's not an incredible lyricist because he does everything else so well, and y'all want to act like M's a better lyricist than Jay. Give me an Eminem performance. Yes, give me a better Eminem. Yeah, give me a better Eminem lyrical performance than 44 fours, please.
He doesn't have one.
Yeah, Ethan,
including that
Brian,
shit.
Please.
Look, including that renegade shit. And Nas is really the one that made that infamous, Mike.
Yeah,
nobody was saying it like that until he said Eminem murdered you on your own shit.
Yeah.
Nobody was calling it like that. But that's what I mean about how the streets is talking. That's kind of what the streets was saying about the record. Low-key be like, sound like M faded Jay a little bit on that record, though probably shouldn't have done the record with Fam. Nas just highlighted what the streets was saying, like in big bold letters. He just put it up on the front page. You get what I'm saying?
You're right.
But look what I'm saying when I say that. when niggas was saying that M got J, they was also saying it with the wow factor of, oh, I didn't know he could do that to Jay.
Exactly.
Thank
They were
you.
saying
Right.
that with the wow factor of, you're not even on Jay's level.
Right.
How did you
Like,
have
they
a
were saying
better
it like,
verse
hold
than
on,
him?
you're not supposed to get Jay on a verse.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Definitely saying it like that. It was some shade to the praise is what I'm saying.
You're right. And that's exactly what Nas was
I
trying
was
to
there. I
actually
was
invoke.
outside.
Yeah. That's exactly what he was trying to invoke, because if there was no shade to the praise, that wouldn't have even been a punchline in a diss record.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because even
if it wasn't noteworthy, if it didn't like sting a little, it wouldn't have, but you got to look at the cause and the effect.
But you want to know what that response was to? Your bodyguard's Uchiwali verse is better than yours, actually. So if we look at that whole Eminem murdered you on your own shit, it's really not a compliment to Eminem if we keep it real. That was really a response to your body. Your bodyguard's verse is better than yours.
With M, and that's what you did, huh? Yeah, he not bigging up M. He pretty much telling Jay, it's like, oh, so you just let him fade you like that, huh?
Exactly. Eric Terrell with the super chat says, the Beatles stole black music, Eminem stole black music. See, I disagree with that, though. I don't feel like Eminem stole black music, because, again, like
the Beatles didn't steal black music either. They're from London. They made albums like for years and were like big before they came here.
No, they didn't. Yeah, they covered some
black
stuff.
people. Have you been to London and been to Abbey Road? Isn't that like, I don't know if there's black people like on Abbey Road now, but like,
I don't feel like Eminem stole black music, because, like I said earlier, we can't even find an Eminem interview on the Breakfast Club, on Hot 97. I don't think Eminem's done an interview with Ebro face to face. Like, he doesn't even dwell in black radio to even quote unquote. I don't even feel like he makes black music. I think he's a dope rapper, but can we honestly say that Eminem makes black music to say that he stole black music? I don't think that. He's in the rap sphere, but I think
I think Bitch Please too is the closest he's really been to stealing black music, Mike.
Right.
Bitch Please.
Yeah, and I guess you could say Forgot About Dre, maybe, but that's not his record. That's him being a feature, so it's different.
Well, I was about to say, let's be honest too. Like Glove let us know, it's like Forgot About Dre is the first record he heard Eminem on.
Yeah, he said they recorded that in 97 or something, right?
97, 98-ish, something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah. So let's get to these rating things. We got Rick Ross up first.
Okay, hold on. Let me finish these super chats and then we'll go ahead and get to that. Roy Warner with the super chat says, I know you guys don't like God Did, but I went to Genius. That verse from Jay, broke it down. It's crazy. Where's M's verse? Where's M's KD3? He's not like that. Oh, well, he doesn't have a God Did verse. Eric Terrell with the super chat says, we love the Beatles, Mike. We dog M. What's the difference? Seriously?
Okay.
Do you want to take that one? You go ahead, man. What's the difference between the Beatles and Eminem, Coop?
I mean, first of all, talent level. Musicianship, songwriting ability, execution. First of all, how about this? The Rolling Stones were more inspired and took more from black music than the Beatles did. Yeah. Let's just say it like that. Like more of their funk driven, and that's why I prefer them. Actually, Mike, is that no, they took shit from the Isley Brothers and from Ike and Tina and from Chuck Berry and from Little Richard. The Beatles didn't take that shit. The Beatles had a sound that was actually uniquely their own and was new to America. That's why they were so big when they came to America, Mike. The sound was new. If they stole a sound that was already in America, it wouldn't have been glorified for being a new sound.
Yeah.
The Rolling Stones, the other hand, you can look at some of like the drums and the kicks and the bass lines, especially after they blow up, and it's like, no. You can tell that they're like Chuck Berry.
And they've admitted that.
Turner.
Yeah.
The Ikettes. That's what they used to call them. They used to have Ikettes, Mike. That's what used to call them, the Ikettes.
Shout out to Ike Turner, man. Rest in peace to him.
Pam Strong. Yeah, go ahead.
I think a lot of people, and I think it's unfortunate when these things happen. It happened to Rick James as well. I think they take certain moments in people's lives and it becomes their legacy. But for a lot of people out there, you need to know that Ike Turner made the first rock and roll song, and he should be remembered for those things as well, and not just the fact that he put hands on Tina from time to time, which is egregious. But we also have to look at people's impact and put their legacy in focus.
Cold Blooded is the best song ever made that doesn't have a video by Rick James. It's the best song I ever heard that
What a
doesn't have a video.
talented person in Rick James. And yes, he's not just the crazy whacked out person on narcotics that slap people. He was a great musician.
Here's how great Cold Blooded is, Mike. Old Dirty Bastard redid Cold Blooded for Nigga Please.
Yeah.
That's how Cold Blooded is.
Mike H with the super chat says, not sure what to make of Eminem. I don't listen to him, but I was at MSG, and if M had walked out on that stage and did EPMD 2, the place would have exploded. I think that's more fandom than the actual music itself, though. Let's see. Jay Short with the super chat says, before A2HH, Eminem was going to be coronated as the GOAT. You guys helped stop that, and the stands in the chat will not forgive you.
Oh, is that what we did? We about to keep on doing that. Damn our metric, Mike. He's just not top 10 and maybe barely top 20 on my personal list. Like my objective list.
Listen, man.
My personal objective list. Like if I'm doing my personal objective list, I can see the things that he's contributed. And as a whole in totality, like slide him somewhere between 20 to 30. But nah, Mike.
I want to say this.
No face mob.
As a hip hop fan, right? And this has nothing to do with anybody, color of anybody's skin. As a hip hop fan, I just don't think that his music's at the level of the people that I have at the top of these lists. I love Beasties. I play Beasties all the time, so it ain't about that. You know what I mean?
No, they get smoked too, Mike. Like they get smoked by these top 5 guys too. Like the Beasties
of course
get
they
smoked
do.
Too.
And I never put the Beasties in like top whatever. They're more of an influential group in that way because they came around super early. But I'll look at somebody like KRS, right? I'm a KRS fan, but he was never like my go-to MC or whatever. But KRS got records I fucking love. I was just playing My Philosophy the other day, jamming to it. Like I was playing Criminal Minded, jamming to it. Saying. And M just don't have those records like that for me.
Not to be funny, Mike, and not just about you. It's not about the fact that you love it. It's about the fact that you can't deny those records.
Exactly. You said it right.
You can't deny it.
Yeah.
My Philosophy, you can't deny My Philosophy when you hear it.
Exactly.
You can't deny my 9mm goes bang.
And even for the people that...
Over. South Bronx, Jack of Spades. Exactly. No, you cannot deny these records when they come on.
And we seen them live. You and I seen them live. You can't deny these records.
Another feeling live, Mike. It's a level up live.
Yeah. Yeah, MCs act like they don't know. You can't deny these records. You can say
stadium flow. I didn't even know MCs act like they don't know a stadium flow till I heard it in the stadium.
M just doesn't have those undeniable records like that. Like people could peg me or Melly Mel or whatever as a hater. Will play the records to prove us wrong. So anybody who goes out there and says the stuff they say about Pac, I could play some records that are undeniable. You gonna sit here and listen to Ambitions of a Rider and say that, oh yeah, that ain't it. You can't. Just for the people who were saying that stuff about Get Rich or Die Trying, I have undeniable records from that album that if you want to sit there and deny, you're not being honest. JY,
we get to this rubric?
Yeah, I'm sorry. We get to these super chats and we'll get to that. JY with the super chat says, top 5 albums from Nas and Wu discography combined. We talking about Wu-Tang as a group, or we counting all the solo stuff too? That's tough. Ethan Hill with the super chat says, context. Melly Mel said Busta was better than Jay. Context. Yeah. I disagree.
That's what I was saying. Yeah, he did say that. Yeah, I remember hearing that. That's why I was like,
yeah, I disagree with
stuff sometimes.
I'm gonna listen to the actual part where he said that and see where he, felt that was justifiable. But just off the top of my head, without listening to it, I'm thinking that he's probably speaking more so towards the performance side of MCing. But nah. I don't even see how you can really make that correlation. Jay Short with the super chat. But you know what? Even with that being said, Coop, nobody is out here running to Jay-Z's defense, are they? Are people out
No,
here
but
sitting here?
Mike, we need to get to the rubric though. We've
Okay.
been giving Eminem a lot of airtime for somebody that ain't been making no damn albums. Like real talk.
That's true. Jay Short with the super chat says, could M beat Fab in the verses using his own material? Would Fab be allowed to release a song like Stan in 2001? Well, I could say no to the second part of it.
Can you?
Yeah, he wouldn't have been able to release a song like Stan in 2001. No. He had to come out there on some, I can't deny it. He had to be on 106 in Park. That wasn't going to work. Unknown name with the super chat says, the root of all the Eminem propaganda is 85% of the fan base don't listen to hip hop outside of him. And if they can, it's casual. It's true. Eric Terrell with the super chat says, Mike, I didn't say that Eminem was top 5. He has songs. Okay.
No, we should start. You know what? That just did make me think about something. Quick sidebar. We should start auditing people that are stepping with the Eminem check because he has so many fans that don't listen to hip hop. It's like, hey fam, what's track 8 on Aquemini? What's track 3 on Illmatic? You know what I'm saying? Like, no. You should be asking these questions.
How do you season your chicken? Eric Terrell with the super
Very
chat
problematic
says,
that you just
what
did
do you
that.
use to season your chicken? Eric Terrell with the super chat says, you could praise a MC without dragging another MC. Yeah, I guess so. You can't, but y'all force me to do these things. 36 Chambers with the super chat says, nothing against the list y'all have, but the real problem is someone defending Eminem being a top 15 and not someone like Redman, who arguably could be a top 20. M stands a wild. They won't let up. Yeah, they won't. And like Coop said, we got to move on from this conversation because, that artist is, hadn't really given us anything musically to talk about. Rasir Gomez says, yo, M, what's the do-rag for? Does M even have a better catalog than Ja Rule? In a versus, give me Ja.
That's what I'm saying. John ain't even gonna make this list. Keep going.
36 Chambers
So we
with
can
the
get to
super
the
chat
rubric.
says, comparing Eminem to the Beatles, a foundational pillar of modern music, shows how far Eminem fans go to justify their favorite artists. Very sad. I agree. John Wayne with the super chat says, M murdered Jay and Nas. M's the GOAT. Yeah, okay. Eric Terrell with the super chat says, rock and roll is the blues black music. AB Studios with the super chat says, Magoo is a better rapper than Eminem. Next topic. Jermaine Johnson with the super chat says, I don't listen to M, but if Nicki is top 10 because of the impact, women, and album sales, then M has to be top 10. Impact, white kids, way too strong. Well, with that impact,
she's not top 10, and she was the most egregious person in the top 10.
Well, let's just say this, though. If that impact...
Her being in the top 10 is worse than M being in the top 10. What are we doing?
If that impact is on quote-unquote white kids, then how has that translated over to other MCs? Like Melly Mel said, if his impact was that strong, then hip-hop would be overran by, quality white MCs that's running the game, right?
Sometimes the impact is felt differently. Let's go to Tiger Woods right quick. Well, there's not a bunch of black golfers running around, but all these white people sure are richer for having Tiger Woods around.
It's true.
Yeah.
Brian,
maybe there should have been more black people picking up a golf club. We'd have some more black wealth because he damn sure just made he just made every white person that golfs the last 20, 25 years with him more sustainably richer and wealthier than they could ever pray to be if he wasn't around.
Facts. Brian with the super chat says, Nas considered Eminem a king. That's why he borrowed Eminem's flow for the first song on KD3. Also, I'm convinced KD2 is easily the best album from this run. Did Nas say that? Or did you say that, Brian?
That sounds like some Brian shit.
Okay, I think we're almost done with the super chats. We appreciate the super chat love, and we're going to get into this rubric before we get up out of here. Jay Short with the super chat says, just for fun, I would love to see you put Prince, Mike, and Stevie through your rubric one day. That would be interesting.
Hey, we're not doing it. All right.
And we're caught up. Okay. Man, y'all are really participating in today's show.
Stevie's the songwriter. Mike is the performer. Prince is the musician. Let's leave it like that.
Well, that's true.
You like it like that? I like it like that.
Vocally, who would you say is on top there?
Stevie.
Think so? I got Mike there.
I hear you. Mike can't make you feel the love song the way Stevie can, though. That's voice.
I think that's fair.
That's where I give Stevie the edge. Neither one of them can. Like Adore and I Can't Help It. No, that ain't like that. That's not knocks me off my feet or Overjoyed or
No.
Or what's the shit that Common took for Lauryn Hill? I Never Dream You Leaving Summer.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's
listen,
not
man.
that.
No. You're right. Like, there's an emotion that comes with Stevie's
Right.
voice.
Rocket Love, Mike.
Yeah.
Rocket Love.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they're not fucking with Stevie.
I mean, even Sunshine of My Life. I know it's other
Right.
people vocally.
No,
on
I
there,
was
but
thinking
yeah,
like the what is it? The Joy Inside My Tears, like all that stuff. Like like even the stuff that's more obscure. Like some of his more obscure stuff will like bring you to tears.
I was gonna say Stevie's music for whatever reason makes you want to cry, man. Like
it's a beautiful thing, man. It's a man who can't see that sees things beautifully.
Yeah. 36 Chambers of the Super Chat says, are y'all going to revise the list and rerun the candidates after hitting the top 20 for clarity? Yeah.
We were just speaking of that. Yeah.
And I know a lot of y'all, sometimes I've been reading some of the chats or some of the comments rather where people are getting kind of bored with this process. It's a rigorous process, and we want to make sure that we get it right as possible, as correct as possible. I know Melly Mel starting his podcast. I would love for Melly Mel to go through the list and see what his thoughts are on some of these things. That's why we go through the tedious process. We don't just throw things together like Billboard or whatever just for things to trend. So
tell Melly Mel pull up.
Yeah, would love for Melly Mel to pull up. I would love for Papoose to pull up too. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's have these conversations. These, as Carmelo Anthony would say, uncomfortable conversations.
Yeah,
we actually putting people.
Papoose and Remy can pull up.
Yeah, we're putting people's resume on the table, man. That's all it is.
All right,
Ross. So let's go. Rick Ross,
the boss. No, I love Ross.
Yeah.
Impact, Rick Ross or Eminem?
Eminem.
I'll tell you Eminem. Live performance, Eminem. Lyrics, Eminem. Storytelling?
That's Eminem too.
Classic albums.
I'm going Ross with that one.
Me too. Classic songs.
That's Ross.
Yep. Longevity of albums.
Ross.
Longevity of songs.
Ross.
Classic collaborations.
Ross.
Career longevity quality.
That's Ross too.
That's it.
Now
we didn't even get the voice. But Ross would have won that too.
What part of that was unfair? Because I know people are gonna cry and bitch and moan about that. What part of that was unfair? Let's go back over that. What part of that was unfair?
How about this? Who has the better voice, Rick Ross or Eminem?
I think Ross. Easy.
It's not even a question. So the ones that Eminem won, he won for impact.
Okay.
Live performance, lyrics, and storytelling.
Okay.
Classic albums we gave to Ross.
Let's just say we gave that one. Let's just say we gave the classic albums to Eminem, since they say he got 3 classics.
Let's give it to him.
Okay.
Guess what, Mike? He still loses by 1, even if we give him the classic albums.
Okay.
He definitely doesn't have more classic songs.
No, he does.
He definitely doesn't have the longevity of the career or of the songs or the classic collaborations.
No.
So he still loses. That's what I'm saying. He's not as tight as y'all. He's not like this, but this is what I'm saying, Mike. This is where stuff like your voice matters. This is where how your songs and how your albums held up like really, really matters.
Somebody said Ross got classic songs over M. Well, listen, once again, do you guys want to go 20 songs deep against Eminem with Rick Ross songs, or would you be more comfortable having Eminem's catalog
Rick
in that
Ross
matchup?
has made more impactful songs on God Forgives and I Don't than Eminem has made in the last 15 years. Like, so you could take the last 15 years of Eminem's catalog and
Yep, Coop's gone. Let's get Coop back in here. Oh man, it started to get heated. man, this is Coop and Mike are problematic. We are getting thumbs down now. Is Coop in here? You back?
I'm trying to.
Okay. What's going on?
Well, I'm on my iPad right now because the laptop just shut down. So give me 1 second.
Oh, okay, that's cool. Yeah, take your
Oh.
time.
Hold on.
Well, while Coop is there, the people are going crazy. They say M with Ross in the verses. Yeah, you can keep that angle right there. You good? I don't think M will. So if I play BMF, guys, what you gonna play? Lose Yourself? Is that what y'all gonna do? What about if I play Hustling? What about if I play Santorini Grease?
Oh, he has nothing for Santorini. he never
What if I play the first Maybach music with Jigga? And I might not even play that.
How about I play part 2 with Wheezy and Yeezy? How about I play 16 with Andre?
Yeah. How about I play Jesus Piece?
You and Dice Pineapples, maybe. Maybe 3 Kings with Dr. Dre and Jay-Z. Can I interest you in Hold Me Back? 10 Jesus Pieces.
Yeah. Maybach music. I mean, not Maybach music. Aston Martin music.
Niggas smoking crack.
I mean, what you gonna play?
Mike, I'm about to call you from the laptop because
okay.
I got all my stuff set up on the iPad. Hold
okay,
on.
cool. Go ahead. Ray Warner with the super chat says, M isn't better than Ross lyric wise. Like, can you guys actually? Oh. Okay, we got a super chat here from Roy Warner. He says, M isn't better than Rick Ross lyric wise. Like, can you guys actually read the lyrics that these guys are saying? Rapping fast isn't good enough. Read it. Okay. So yeah, if you guys think that song for song, M could beat Ross in a verses, let me know what you're gonna play when, like you said, we play any of those records. That
Listen
you
to
and
what
I
I'm
were
about to
just
say
talking
respectfully,
about.
Mike. You know how I feel about Ghost and Ray, right? I don't know if Ghost and Ray would beat Ross in a verses song wise. You understand what I'm saying?
Ross got a lot of songs.
I know they're
man.
better MCs.
Right. Well, they got the Wu-Tang
stuff. Verses.
They got the Wu-Tang stuff. They might not be the best.
No, damn that, Mike. I said I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, it's not certain.
Yeah.
Like, that's how banging his songs are, Mike.
Triple Beam Dream. 36 Chambers says, Ross.
Here I am with Nelly, Mike. We can go back to those. Mike, we haven't even brought up Hustling. That's how crazy his catalog is.
Yeah. 36 Chambers with the super chat says, Ross' best songs are collabos. Respectfully, M don't have a stand till he said M don't have a stand till I collapse, lose yourself, etc. M stands endure after all of these years. Ross ain't got fans like that. M is above Ross. Y'all are wow. I mean, are M's fans there for ho. I don't care about the fans being there. I think fandom is a little different. Again, we're talking about an artist who actually wrote the song Stan, right? The fans aren't always there because of the music. And I think M's fan base is clearly a little tone deaf when it comes to the music because they're not looking at this based on music. They're looking at this based on something else. Whatever that other thing is, I don't know. But it ain't the music. I challenge anybody.
Hold on, Mike. Hold me back, come on.
What you gonna do?
What you gonna do?
Yeah, that ain't no collaboration.
AK, yo, K-check, bitch, nigga, let's play chess. Yo, bitch, next, no latex.
Ross, yeah, I think that he beat him handedly. Like, what other thing could we add in there? Like,
right. What y'all want to do to give M the victory? Y'all need to start understanding. How about this?
Because it ain't the songs. It ain't the collabos.
You want to talk about one-trick ponies, Mike? Here's the reality of the matter that we might have to start addressing. How versatile is Eminem? Because when you take away the lyrics and the storytelling and the impact, what does he have over people? Because these songs that y'all are talking about, like, how about this? Think about the other people that he gets compared to. What does he have that touches people the way people feel a You Don't Know when it comes on?
Yeah.
The way the people celebrate a One More Chance when it comes on. The way people get emotional when Dear Mama comes on. The way heads scrunch up their faces when Made You Look come on. The way we get quiet when I Never Seen a Man Die comes on, Mike.
Yeah.
Like, he don't have no records that don't have those effects. He don't have no albums that has those effects. We need to stop overrating him because he sold records. I told you, a lot of his impact is felt outside of the culture. Now, impact, he's going to win over a lot of people. Impact and lyrics are not enough.
No.
You need to have the voice. You need to have the albums. You need to have the songs. The songs need to stand the test of time by the people singing them repetitively, not by radio playing them repetitively. Radio is a format. People's souls are not formats. That's why it matters what people say and how people feel. And if people are still running around singing your shit, Mike, I'm still playing It's Dark and Hell is Hot like I'm a sophomore in high school.
Right.
Because I still remember that broke-ass kid from the projects that relates to that motherfucker.
And most people will tell you that the first couple of albums that M made that made such an impact, they don't listen to like that anymore because you know what? They grew up. The teenage version of you may have thought those were dope, but the 30-something, 40-something-year-old version, you can't listen to those records.
I'll give you a prime example, Mike. I have a younger brother that's 10 years younger than me exactly. Mm-hmm. And what Nas is to me is what Eminem is to me. And one of the last times I pulled up on him last year, Mike told me flat out, my brother Mike told me flat out, he was like, I don't listen to Eminem as much now that I'm older, and I got real life shit going on, bro.
Yeah.
He has a son now.
Yep.
Congratulations, he has another one.
Coop went out for a second. Jay Short with the super chat says, I'll take Rick Ross top 10. Okay, you there? You went out.
All I'm saying is that as my brother's life got realer, that connection with Eminem faded more.
Yeah.
My connection with what Nas was saying never faded, Mike, because the themes were timeless to what I was going through. Life's a bitch. The world is yours. Memory lane. One love. My cousin who put me on to hip hop ended up doing a bit in 96. He ain't been home, Mike. One love is literally how we ended every letter. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, no. When I'm telling you he's the GOAT, I'm telling you he applied themes to me at 13 that carried to my 30s, to my 40s.
Yeah.
Eminem shit don't hit like that.
Yeah.
And we need to stop fucking playing like it's the same thing because it's insulting to the Nas's and the Scarfaces and the KRS's that have stayed with us. It's insulting. And y'all are not about to pull up here and be insulting to these legends. What do you think we've been up here doing? When you try to put his catalog in their stratosphere, it is insulting.
It is.
Period.
It is.
And if you don't understand that shit, show me the motherfucking songs.
And you know what? It makes me, you talk about that connection or lack thereof. It makes me feel.
Show me the songs. Fuck all that.
Yeah, it makes me feel like the way that people got to that original connection with this artist was artificial. It's through marketing. It wasn't massive marketing that made you a Nas fan. You organically drew to this individual. And for your brother to say how much of a fan he was of this individual, but that music doesn't apply as he grew up, it's like, okay, well, was I really a fan or was I a victim of marketing? Because there's a lot of artists that I just got marketed to when I was a kid that I loved then, but as I got older and got my own mind, I'm like, yeah, I used to think that shit was dope, whatever. But they want us to hang on to this like this is some real timeless stuff, and it's not.
Like, Mike, my mom used to think Al B. Sure was that nigga. You feel me?
Right.
Like she talk about Al B. Sure the way I talk about Prince.
Yeah, he
I'll
don't
be sure no damn
grass.
Prince.
No.
But when he dropped Night and Day in the Killing Me Softly remake,
right.
Oh, he was that for a year.
Yeah.
For a year.
We got to put that in context. Jay
Short with the
super chat says, I'll take Rick Ross top 20 songs over any other artist in the top 20. He's just the best car rapper and the best luxury rapper ever. His catalog is heavy. Y'all did see him in the verses, right? And he had
you see him not play a lot of his bangers in the verses, right?
He had a 20-pack for another person, a new 20-pack.
Everybody ducked that. You notice how when he said, I got another 20 piece for anybody who wanted, nobody said a goddamn thing.
You're right. Roy Warner with the super chat says,
With hell.
cigars in the Oval Office. Ronald Reagan heard Barack Obama whisper, Assalamu alaikum, live from the moment. Die for the street Bible on the dash. Kilos in the seat. Rick Ross, stop playing.
That's a little idols become rivals. That's a little idols become rivals.
Yeah.
Nice bar work.
Yeah. AB Studios of the super chat says, if M fans can't list 20 songs set for a versus, they have nothing to argue at all. No versatility and replay value. Y'all can have his music. Yeah. I mean, you're wide open in the chat right now, guys. Y'all got all of the Wikipedia you need. If you're really a fan, you don't need that. List it in the chat.
Pull up and quote his bars the way we be quoting Nas's bars and Jay's bars and Big's bars and Pac's bars. And at the drop of a dime, Mike, you quoted some Jeezy bars at the drop of a dime. Mike, you surprised me today. I was like, this nigga knows Jeezy's bars from a guest appearance from motherfucking 02.
Yeah. And y'all know I don't even really rock with Jeezy's lyrical performances like that, but I know it.
About how Mike, niggas in Atlanta be hitting me up about how you be talking about Jeezy. They be like, you need to get your man.
Just a personal preference, man. But you know what? At the end of the day, to me, and y'all know how I feel about Jeezy, I'm listening to Jeezy way before I'm listening to M's music. That's just real. I am.
Mike, how about this? This is what I'm saying. What bars he got like this? Once I stood on the block, loose cracks produced stacks. I cooked up and cut small pieces to get my loot back. Time is illmatic, keep static like wool fabric. Pack a 4-matic to crack your whole cabbage. When is he like that? When is he like that?
And those are throwaway bars from that album. Yeah.
When is he like that?
Yeah.
Stop that, because here's the reality of the matter, Mike, and I'm glad somebody said it. He's not Redman. And Redman's somewhere floating in the 20s on this list. And he's not red.
Yeah.
He's not red catalog-wise. He's not red rhyme-wise.
I be the super lyrical individual. I be spitting through that Teflon material to blow a bit off the schedule. Yeah. Christopher Hogan with the super chat says Teflon Don.
Mike, sometimes it's effect. Sometimes Redman's effect. It's like rough. Like all you girls draws be. You know what I mean? Like I had cerebral palsy. Like sometimes it's just like how he just comes off on the track.
Yo, I love the Redman came in that the long-faced murderer, serving over 2 billion motherfuckers a day like Mickey D. Circular.
Right.
Working ya, shifty hour like a burglar. My crew herbing ya like we never even heard of ya. Odds and evens, and I'ma be the one. Yeah, it's different.
Talk better be the words you walk. Body you where the nurses are. Put your brains out. Watch me insult the dark. From the bricks to Persian Gulf.
Light circuits off. 33rd of my brain is off. That explain why my language off. My gun aim and cough. Y'all ain't trained to brawl.
Y'all not trained to brawl. Y'all more like a training brawl.
Wet behind the ear, you're not prepared. Put a project flow with extra stairs. Pass out a vest to wear. The hard wires, starting bonfires. Pull the mask so you know it's me. Yo, weed got more seeds than ODB. I can't smoke.
You see how we know his shit, Mike? You get what I'm saying? He's not even red. What y'all talking about?
It's the Funk Doctor Spot, the Poncock lyricist. My mentality so deaf, yo, I ain't even hearing this shit. Gets me cocking back when I be coming. I guess they heard how I be taking MCs out by the hundreds. What about his second verse on The Goodness, man? The heat Mike, is on. 97 Cheech and Chong, reaching y'all. Oh, yeah.
As the planet and the stars and the moons collapse, when I raise my trigger finger, all y'all niggas hit the deck. Cause ain't no need for that. Hustlers and hardcore fall to the floor raw like Reservoir Dog.
Oof.
The green-eyed bandit can't stand it with more fruitier loops than that Toucan Sam bitch. Y'all think M fucking with Red? What are y'all smoking that y'all keep putting him up this high? We got Red floating somewhere around the 20s. Did you see how we did just a whole Redman riff? Let's hear what the chat's Eminem riff sounds like. Don't sound like that.
Choose the date, the day you hallucinate. Smoking me out without warn, torn, ghettos, the opposite of Goodfellows, De Niro. Haven't anybody who rocked the mic, Rello. Got your wife singing, not tonight. Hello, money talk, bullshit wall, asks Chris. But he said, you need practice, stack this, Jurassic, dash this, half-ass, nasty-ass bitch, hot potato, drop the data, gunja, emancipation, proclamator. Locked it down, cop the pound. As a juvenile working the wilds on canal, Brick City be the pros that wildin' out. Off at the mouth, get dressed like 1,000 now. Got a degree and the hash and elite week. Crash in the feed while we mastered the P. But beats bout it. Cars of low mileage.
Get 'em,
Block
Mike.
out, make Jaja, good boy, cha-cha. Spit something
Get
to you
'em.
to turn your eyes cockeye. Out with the outs
Get
and
'em.
ha 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 ha. Trembling, picking up the
Get
bit again,
'em.
adrenaline. Got impact like DJ threw on Benjamins, bending in, hit you with your
Get
thumb, nigga
'em.
Timberland, fuck you, rob you, cops say it's them again. Yeah, Redman's
Get
that
'em.
deal.
Like Redman on High How. Get 'em.
All right, Christopher Hogan with the super chat says Teflon Don got major play in Louisiana. Ross is fire. Yeah, I mean, look, that's the
Ross
thing
crazy.
too. Ross, for somebody who's a national artist like that, Ross is a Southern MC. You know what I'm saying? Like, and for his shit to be coming out of Miami and be able to be reached by everybody and accepted by everybody on that level, that's big stuff. Jay Short with the super chat says, when I bought my first house, I listened to Santorini, Greece probably 15 times in a row. You feel Ross. I hear you. You do feel Ross. Jermaine Johnson with the super chat.
Hey, I'm still listening to Santorini, Greece. What are you talking about? Hey, stop playing it, chat.
Yeah. Jermaine Johnson with the super chat says, my bum is on your lips. Bar stood the test of time. Yeah.
Yes. See, we can't get nothing done in here because so many people got retorts.
JY with the super chat says, don't Coop started on comparing Prodigy bars to M. Yeah, don't get Coop started on Prodigy versus the M bars. Yeah, hell no. No, man. Prodigy
That's
hits,
what I'm saying.
Prodigy hits you right here, man.
Don't be talking about this lyricist. What he got on Prodigy as a lyricist? Please explain it to me. What he got? He got voice. He got impact. He got a feel. He got better words. No, he don't have none of that. He got more cinematic verses. Does he have better verses? Does he have some more iconic verses? No.
I'm still waiting on those 20 songs in the chat, though. All right.
I'm still waiting on some Eminem bars. Don't do me like this. Like Ross is just better than Eminem. That's what I'm saying about people need to understand where Eminem really is. He's a great lyricist that made 3 great albums. He's had heavy impact. These guys that are ahead of him are all more well-rounded than him. And I just hate to be the one to break that out. The people that are ahead of him are more well-rounded. Is Slick Rick going to sell like Eminem? No. He's just an overall better MC.
Slick Rick's not going to sell like the Beastie Boys.
Mike, he's got a better delivery. He's got a bigger impact. He's a better storyteller. He's better vocally. His best album's blowing all of your shit out of the water.
It's true.
His best songs are blowing all of your best songs out of the fucking water. And that is Slick Rick sitting at 20, Mike.
See, I would like to ask the Fat Joes and the Papooses of the world if they think that Eminem's better than Slick Rick. I want to know. Y'all think Eminem's better than KRS-One?
Joe better not say that because he's from the Bronx. He better not ever say that Eminem is better than Slick Rick.
I want to know. Since y'all defending him being top 5, you know what I'm saying?
It's just not true, Mike. Even to this day, it's just not true. Because M's biggest bag is the impact bag. And Slick Rick trumps that bag. He's one of the people that's like, yeah, that bag's cute. I'm Slick Rick. Take your little bag and go home.
No, real. Roy Warner with the super chat says,
take your little impact bag and go home. I'm Slick Rick. I am the impact bag. True. It looks like this. This is the biggest impact bag.
Roy Warner with the super chat says, lyrically, M isn't that. I hope. He said, lyrically, M isn't that. I hope when you do that lyricist list, you actually read the lyrics. M was never like that. He doesn't have a verse more memorable than PSA. I think that's a good thing that Roy is saying. When we talk about lyricists and put people together on a lyricist list, we actually need to read the lyrics to actually put them together and understand what they're saying. You can't just have a bunch of cool schemes and mumbo jumbo.
No, I get it, Mike, but we already know it. We already know the bars, Mike. Watch this, Mike. All I got to do is this to you. Sip the juice. I got enough to go around.
Thoughts took place uptown. I go up. I went to New York.
I grew up on the sidewalk where I run streets, talk
and
to
then
them,
talk
talk
to
to
all
Hawk,
New
New York. I
York.
go
Go
for
to
Queens for the Queens,
to
get
get the crew
Coney
from
in Brooklyn.
Brooklyn.
In Manhattan, they never been took there.
Go uptown to the Bronx to boogie down. Strong on the island,
We already
coop
know
to lay
how it goes.
around.
Like what does Eminem shit start off like that? That's when Mike visualizing the realism of life and actuality.
Fuck who's the baddest. The person's status depends on salary, but my mentality is money orientated. Yeah, man.
Mike, once upon a time not long ago when people wore pajamas and lived life slow, where laws are stern and justice stood.
And people were behaving like they all too good. There was
Mike,
a little boy that was misled by another little boy, and this is what he said.
That's what the greatest lyricists are, Mike.
Yeah. Even when you go to songs that never even had a video, like Mona Lisa. It was one of those days.
My God, you look nice. Put away your money. I'll buy that slice. Well, she said, thanks. I'd rather a slice of you. I'm just kidding, but that's awfully nice of you. The compliment shows she had a mind in her. And when I smiled, I almost blinded her. Well, great Scott, are you a thief? Seems like you have a mouth full of gold teeth. Ha ha ha, I had to find that funny, so I said, no, child, I work hard for the money. And calling me a thief, please, don't even try it. Sit down, eat your slice of pizza, and be quiet. He almost got cut short. You know, Scissor. She tried to disrespect who?
The Grand Wizard.
Me, what's your name, son? MC Rick. M don't have no shit like that.
And
stop that. And Slick Rick is at 20.
Right. Christopher Hogan with the super chat says, "Where so many shade, they thought I was. With so many shades, they thought I had a lazy eye. Shorty moves smooth, and my Mercedes ride. No love cry." When our only babies die, Ross. Hey, look, I think people feel Ross's music too.
This is what I'm saying, Mike.
Yeah.
Watch this. How you living, Biggie Smalls? I'm surrounded by criminals, heavy rollers, even the shiesty individuals, smoking blunts and mad Phillies, beating down Billy Badasses, cracks, stacks, and masses. See how you started rapping along with me, Mike?
Pass, y'all, pass it. Things get drastic. I'm burying
you bastards.
Whoo!
Those are lyricists. We know every rhyme that they spit and when they sit it and how they made it feel. It gives us goosebumps when we spit it back at
Yo, that nigga's nice. Whenever I start quoting Biggie, I'm like, yo, this nigga was nice.
It's different.
Even with like One More Chance remix, this is a big radio record. But when you start rapping the song, you're like, yo, this dude was going in. Like the first verse.
It's just better.
He's insane with it,
it's
man.
Better than
and you and I always point out that that remix for Get Money, where he was going with that. Oh man, like
nobody. That's 1995, Mike. I swear to God, go listen to everybody else rapping in 1995. There's nobody rapping like that.
Frank White, the Desperado, used to rock the all black Movado, the all black Eldorado, all that in the bottle of Don P. You Can't Harm Me, I Keep the Army. It's Brooklyn in the house without a doubt.
In the house.
Without a doubt.
How many rappers have taken that from him that's from Brooklyn?
I'm the rapper with clout everybody yap about. Check it out. Guns are bust 'em. Problems with my wife, don't discuss them. Coops to lid, jets, I lust them. Fingerprints, I dust them. Recent address. Whew. In your pissy mattress.
The Lear jets, I lust them. Fingerprints, I dust them. Ooh, NBA Jam. Right. It don't got no shit like that, Mike, where you're like, this nigga's on fire. Like, he has verses like that, but it's like, it's not like that,
it's
Mike.
Not like that.
He's not like that. It was never like that. He's always been a dope-ass MC.
Does he have a bar like fuck a state, Penn, fuck hoes, and Penn State? Listen, closest Francis, the praying mantis. No.
Used to call me Fatso, now you call me Castro. Used to call me Fatso, now you call me Castro. It's the illest shit I ever heard. I was like, this nigga just.
I was just listening to Victory, man, and when he said that Maddie broke the neck to your Coke Connect, what? Talking about Maddie C, the writer for The Source, who gave him a shot, like, yo, crazy.
Bars. Those are bars.
Crazy.
In case you guys were wondering what bars sounded like, me and Mike just gave you a nice little seminar.
I think we needed a bar
session.
I think we needed a bar session because people got shit confused. Like, this guy's one of the 5 best to ever do it. We're quoting, like, people who are top 30. He ain't got bars like these.
This is Mike. This straight out of Compton, crazy motherfucker named Ice Cube from the gang called Niggas with Attitudes. When I'm called off, I got a sawed off. Squeeze the trigger and bodies are hauled off. You too, boy, if you fuck with me, the police are gonna have to come and get me off your ass. That's how I'm going out for the punk motherfuckers that's showing out.
Oh, God.
Mike, I was 7 years old when he made that.
Yo.
I know it word for word.
Yo, man. Yo, Cube is something else, man. Andrew Green with the super chat says...
That's that shit, Mike.
Yeah.
That's that shit.
Andrew Green with the super chat says, Ross is dope with imagery as an MC, excuse me. I think that he was heavily influenced by It Was Written, Nas, Life After Death, Biggie, but modern mashup. I could see the Biggie influence, definitely. And I've always said, from a production standpoint, if Big would have lived, I could see him rhyming over the stuff that Ross has rhymed over in his career. Production-wise. Jay Short with the super chat says, Fat Joe praising Eminem when Pun was right next to him, doing the same style better is wild. Yeah, nah, I could go there too. JY with the super chat says, every verse y'all spit, I felt them. It's different. It is different.
It's different.
And this is the stuff that we're talking about. Ain't nobody hating. Ain't nobody,
we're doing this verbatim off the top of our head, Mike. If he had verses like that, we would be sliding them in right now.
Yeah. Straight up. I don't care about any of that. Like, it's about how great you are and what you make people feel. Esquire with the super chat says, how do we go from comparing M to Ross to Nas? Which is comparing the greats, man.
Right. Top five. Top five, right?
Yeah, top five.
Top five MC verses out, right?
Yeah. Because once you get in these discussions, you can be compared to anybody. Roy Warner with the super chat says, you need a TikTok. These kids need facts, not propaganda. I guess we could do a TikTok with just some bars. We should do a TikTok bar challenge. I don't really like TikTok like that. But,
Mike, back when I was young, me and my mama had beef. 17 years old, kicked out on the street. Back at the time, never thought I'd see her face. Ain't a woman alive that could take my mama's place. Suspended from school.
Scared to go home. I was a fool with the big boys breaking all the rules.
Shed tears with my baby sister. Over the years, we was poorer than the other little kids. And even though we had different daddies, the same drama when things went wrong, we blame mama. I reminisce on the stress I caused. It was hell, hugging on my mama from a jail cell.
And who would think in elementary?
Don't tell me that the guy that wrote that is number 4 and Eminem is number 5.
Right.
Do not do that.
Who would think in elementary?
Don't do me like that.
That I would see the penitentiary.
Don't do me like that.
Man, running from the police. Mama called me, put a whooping to my backside.
They got guys standing right next to each other on that billboard list. You know how absurd that really is.
And even as a crack fiend, mama, you always was a black queen, mama.
My favorite part, Mike, and I remember all the extra time that you gave, man. I wish I could take the pain away. If you could make it through the night, there's a brighter day.
Yeah.
Everything will be all right if you hold on. It's a struggle every day, gotta roll on. When M ever said some shit like that, Mike? Stop playing with me.
Andre Shashir with the super chat. Shout out to Andre in the building. He says, how'd y'all feel about Sauce Walker? I listened to the Sauce Ghetto Gospel 3 and was surprisingly impressed. He was spitting some real ish with no hooks. I like Sauce Walker. I think Coop was putting me on the Sauce Walker a while back. I think
Sauce got the streets down in Texas.
But again, he makes those records you can feel. And I think Andre, I've never met Andre. I know he's one of our earlier viewers, but I know the kind of hip hop that Andre normally talks about. And I think that even with that, Sauce doesn't do those things, but he does those things that anybody who's a hip hop listener can feel. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he makes you feel certain things.
JY with the super chat says, I felt them, and I'm a white boy from Australia. Shout out to JY up there in Australia. Antonio with the super chat says, Eminem bar. I was born with a D in my brain. Yeah, I effed in the head. Trash. That's literally how he starts the song, and it gets worse from there. You guys are wild. Okay, Esquire with the super chat says, I don't have M in my top 5, but you're putting M against actual top 5 rappers to support an asinine argument that Ross is better. It's cognitive dissonance.
Esquire, respectfully, I think that you're just missing the fact that like we quoted like Slick Rick, Nas, Redman, Big, Pac. Like we went through Rakim. We just went through a list of people that resonate, not just like a top five. We actually went through probably about 10 MCs just then. So I think our cognitive dissonance is more example laden and not really as dissonance as you may say it is. Seeing how when these conversations are being had, he's being referenced as a top 5 to 10 MC. So there is no dissonance really going on, although I do respect your comment. It's just not correct.
CJ Kid with the super chat says, from these verses, I think that the point is how you use your voice, the emphasis that you put on certain words, and how you say it, than what you even say. If what you say is super lyrical.
Some people just don't have the voice, though, Mike.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
And it's almost impossible to actually execute on if you don't have the voice.
That's what I'm saying. Like your voice, this is what I've been saying about this. The thing that I've really found out the most from this process, even trying to do this rubric, is how much the voice truly, truly matters to how the message gets carried.
Right.
Tupac, Ice Cube, Scarface, and Chuck D are not as dope without their voices, Mike. But then I think about it, it's like, well, neither is Biggie, neither is Slick Rick, neither is Nas, neither is Jadakiss. You see what I'm saying? No, voice matters almost as much as the lyrics do, because it has to be a voice that you want to hear delivering the message. I'll give you two prime examples. Oh, well, Dr. King and Malcolm X, well, they're not just like brilliant men. They do have two of the better speaking voices that you'll find.
It's true. It rings and it resonates. I think Eazy-E too, man. Like Eazy-E's voice, man, it did a lot.
Eazy got a legendary voice. You know, it's easy.
Yeah. I think honestly,
man, I got it easy. When you hear Eazy, you hear Compton, because for a lot of people, that's the first time you heard somebody from out of Compton.
What do you think about somebody like The Game when it comes to like voice?
We have The Game up next.
Oh man, all right, let's get through this then.
Oh, I don't know if we're gonna finish up Ross. I kind of want to leave Ross right there and just go ahead and put Game in.
Let's put Game in, man. I think Game is a very interesting wild card, and I think it was tragic that Game wasn't even put in Billboard's top 50.
Well, let's find out a little bit, because, I mean, much like everybody else, he's starting out against the person at the bottom, which is Eminem at 35. So, impact, Eminem.
Eminem, yeah.
Live performance, Eminem.
Eminem, yes.
Lyrics, Eminem.
Yes. I don't know. I don't know if that's a hands down, though. But I'll do it.
No, people are going to go to the name calling, so I'm going to give him the lyrics.
Okay.
Storytelling, Eminem.
Yes.
Now, classic albums is Game.
Yep.
Classic songs?
That's Game.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Longevity of albums. Now, here's what I'll tell you. Neither one of their catalogs are aging wonderfully in people's minds. So I'm actually cool with the longevity of albums as a tie.
You think so? I don't think so.
What Game album outside the documentary are people still like resonating with? Because Eminem has the Marshall Mathers LP and the Eminem Show that people still reference, including you. Because when I say the Marshall Mathers LP, you'd be like, actually, the Eminem Show is better. So heads will actually tell you the longevity of his albums might run longer than Game's. I think it's a tie, because I think Game's catalog of albums and the songs that have come out from those have kind of helped him. But that is really more of a reference to the classic songs argument, which I think is Game over him.
I think The Doctor's Advocate, right? The documentary, and I think Jesus Piece. I think Jesus Piece has aged incredibly well. I mean, it's been over 10 years now. It's been over 10 years now for Jesus Piece. So,
I love Jesus
and I think
Piece.
that also when you talk about that part of it, Eminem's, I guess, most notable albums are clustered in the same time period, where Games are spread out. And so
that's what I mean.
That's where I would give Game the nod. You know what I mean? Between the two. But if you want to make that a tie, I mean, I wouldn't refute that.
I think that's more of a tie. I do.
Yeah.
Now, songs, I think, is Game, and I think that's more what you're speaking to. He's released bangers in different eras. It's like, well, you know, Doctor's Advocate and the documentary are close, but LAX and Jesus Piece have bangers on them too. They're 5-6 years after that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And there's some stuff on Born to Rap. You know, like,
Yeah, Born to Rap got shits on it. Yeah.
Classic collaborations.
Huh.
I think that might be him.
I think it is too. And I'm gonna say this. I feel like Game gets a lot of collaborative moments on his albums, but you never really hear Game go out there and do features with the people that he normally has featured. And I wish we could see that more. You know what I'm saying? Like Game doesn't really
Kind
go
of
out
funny.
there and do
He
a lot of
calls
features.
people that they don't call him back.
Yeah. That's how it feels for whatever reason. And I don't know why. Because every time Game gets on a record with top-notch talent, he shows out. But I wish we could hear Game on people's albums more. And yeah, so Eminem has to get that one. Because he has
Like,
more,
I'll tell you what, the Hold On with Rick Ross on Daytona, I thought you could have swapped out Ross and put Game in, and Game would have done a similar admirable job.
Yeah. Yeah, but we haven't seen that. But yeah, M gets that one.
Career longevity quality.
I think that's Game.
Me Too. Voice.
That's Game. M got that one, sounds like. Let me get to these super chats real quick.
It's a tie, Mike.
Is it a tie?
1, 2,
Well, what's
3,
the tiebreaker
5.
going to be? I forgot.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we got 5 and 5 in a tie.
I think the tiebreaker was like who has the more classic albums or something that we said, right? Wasn't that the tiebreaker?
We did lean on albums for our tiebreaker. That is correct.
Let me get to these super chats and we're going to break this tie. Jay Sharp with the super chat says, I can't wait till this is done because y'all going to have to reevaluate Cube. I think Death Certificate is lost in the shuffle, still relevant 30 years later. We got to do an album list too. I think that'd be great. Esquire with the super chat says, I heard the discussion crystal clear. The dissonance lies in the fact that Ross belongs nowhere in the conversation with the iconic MCs that you reference. The music speaks for itself, Esquire. It does.
I'm about to say, Esquire, I would actually respectfully beg to differ. And I'll tell you what, as I look at this list, because since we're pretty much putting Ross and Game in at the same time as we go along on Friday, I'll tell you what, everybody that's within 10 slots of Ross should be worried. J. Cole, Pusha T, Big Boy, Redman, Q-Tip, Cool G Rap, Kendrick Lamar, Lil Kim, Drake, and Busta Rhymes should all be worried about Ross, because I think he could potentially fade all of them, and DMX might be his stopping point. So Ross might end up being 24. Because Ross has a better catalog than Busta and Drake.
John Green with the super chat says, I'm looking at your tight rear like a sightseer. Your booty is heavy duty like diarrhea. Someone who wrote that garbage could never be in the top 5. Okay. I think our
I just want to
tiebreaker
be
here.
factual about it. I'm not trying to hate on Eminem. It just needs to be accurately stated.
Yeah.
Now that the hoopla and the run of it is like over, and it just needs to be, spade is a spade type of,
I think the fair thing to do here, Coop, let's take the top 3 albums and let's take the best 2 out of 3.
Okay. So the best 3 albums are going to be Eminem's first 3 albums. That's going to be Slim Shady LP, Marshall Mathers LP, and the Eminem Show.
Correct.
For Game, I think you were accurate. I think it's the documentary, Doctor's Advocate, and Jesus Piece, right?
Correct.
So
now,
what's the best album between the 6?
Let's okay. Do you want to do it like that, or do you want to do like chronological one against the other type thing? Where it's like Slim Shady LP versus
I would prefer to do like the order of like which albums are actually like greatest in order.
Okay.
I would put the documentary at number 1.
Okay, me too.
I would tell you that even though I like the Doctor's Advocate more than I like the Eminem Show, I think the Eminem Show objectively is number 2.
I agree with you on that as well.
Now, here's the question, and here's where we're going to have a problem, Mike. How you feel about the Doctor's Advocate versus the Marshall Mathers LP? Because pulling up on people and saying the Doctor's Advocate is better than the Marshall Mathers LP really is about to send people ape shit.
I think Doctor's Advocate is better than the Marshall Mathers LP. But again,
I would actually tell you that I think that might actually be a tie too.
If we want to be objective here, I just don't. Listen, man, I'm being.
I know you don't feel it.
I just don't think it's that good of an album. Now, I will say that the Eminem Show is that level. I think that's him at his peak. I think that, you know, that's him doing everything that he's able to do on a massive level. But as far as if we were to pull out the Marshall Mathers LP's best songs, right, and pull out the best songs from the Doctor's Advocate, I just think that the Doctor's Advocate has better records.
I agree.
I just do.
Impact and moments matter.
It
and
does.
The Way I Am and Stan is way bigger than anything that happened on the Doctor's Advocate.
Right.
And that's why I think that should be a tie. So I actually think it goes one documentary to the Eminem show, but I think your 3 and 4 are actually a tie because the actual quality album is the Doctor's Advocate. The bigger album with the bolder moments and the bigger moments.
That's fair.
Is the Marshall Mathers LP. So we have bigger, bolder, badder, and brighter, and more highlight versus consistent and better production and rhyme wise. That's a tie to me in a classic case. But here's what I'll tell you. Well, Jesus Piece is way, way fucking better than the Marshall Mathers LP.
The Slim Shady LP.
Slim Shady LP, not the Marshall Mathers LP. Yeah, Jesus Piece is way better.
Yeah, it is. And you know, the Slim Shady LP is my personal favorite album from him, just based on how he was rhyming and all that. But yeah, it's not.
Mike, I don't know if people caught this. And this is why I tell Mike, when you take issue with his rhythm on beat sometimes, this is why I take issue with you saying that. Well, he improved it so much on the Marshall Mathers LP and the Eminem show in relationship to the Slim Shady LP, because he is rhyming a little bit offbeat on some of those records.
Well, that's true. I think I like
that's his approach. You're like, he offbeat. I'm like, no, he's offbeat on the first album a little bit. He fixed that.
Yeah. And if, you know what, it looks like, you know, from an album to album standpoint, Game seems to be trumping this. But even if we went with the albums in between as tiebreakers for those,
like LAX and all that other stuff,
Game wins that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's what may happen to Eminem that people may like. There are some people above him that we might end up having to put back through at you all's behest to see how it fares.
Yeah.
But this is what I mean about you gotta have this catalog, you gotta have these, you gotta have a lot of stuff to be an all-time great MC. Don't just say that he's there because, you know, he got put there. It's like, I know a lot of guys, there are guys that, Mike, I don't know if AZ is going to make our top 50. It's crazy to me.
Yeah.
But it's also the valid reality of, he's got Sugar Hill, he's got Do or Die, he's got Phone Tap, he's got The Life's a Bitch first. He might not make the top 50. Shit real.
Yeah, it's tough. People are saying we're overrating the documentary. Huh? Are we? I really wish we could play music on
I gotta
YouTube.
go, Mike. We gotta be out. I gotta be out. I was in Cali when the documentary is coming out. I know what I saw. I don't know what you talking about.
It's real life.
I'm gonna have to be out. Right. I was outside in Cali when the documentary was out.
Man, great show, man. Friday we're gonna talk some more music. This was a great conversation. I'm gonna be back in town.
I'm gonna say this again. I was outside in Cali when the documentary was out. When nobody talking about no damn Eminem when the documentary was out. You can bet that shit. And let me tell you something else. I heard damn near every song from the documentary on the damn radio except for the record with him when I was out in Cali. Running with Yayo was getting played on the radio. Put You on the Game, No More Fun and Games, Dreams, Hate It or Love It. Mike, Higher used to get played on the late night mix all the time.
Higher was crazy.
Don't Worry with Mary, Father Like Son Like Busta Rhymes. They playing that whole album in Cali. I was like, this what these West Coast niggas do. Okay.
Yeah.
What these West Coast niggas do. I was like, this why these niggas selling records. They'll play your whole album like it's a single.
Now you see how you just rattled that off? That's all we ask. That's all we ask.
Oh, I rattled it off, Mike, because it's an all-time classic album. It's not hard
and
to
I felt that, and you're right. All right, for people out there, man, click the subscribe button. Click the bell icon so you know when we're going live. Tell a friend to tell a friend, A2HH Live. I'm going to be back in my studio on Friday. And, great show.